All right. Well, 3 minutes late is better than five, I guess. So, all right. So, welcome everybody. We're live to the Drunken Guardian Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, the Drunken Guardian, Danny Martinez, and we got the very sleepy but not drunk Kevin over here, Boneless Bones.
What's going on, guys? Hey.
We got Randy the Ragnarok here.
I didn't even change my picture. Hold on. So
Uh,
every
fail every
every
week.
every week you have to change it.
yeah.
And while he does that, we got the sober guardian, Danny.
Hey, what's up?
Hello, Danny.
How's it going?
So yeah, we have a pretty
There
full.
we go.
What is that?
Ooh,
Is that Lady
I like
Demetrius?
that. Oh, yeah, I like this.
Jeez, you're one of
Yeah.
those.
Tall
So
lady
we
stuff.
have a full good week of content, news to talk about, mostly Resident Evil stuff actually. So it actually works out that you put that
Oh,
on
hey.
there.
Mm.
So aside from that, we got about believe 4 or 5 articles we'll talk about. We'll talk about a video that Konami has released for a new game, and then we'll just play a little bit of guess the game. I'll show you some images as usual. And you guys guess that. I had something planned better, but since we have so much news to talk about, I'd rather keep it to a shorter game, so that way we can just keep the episode under 2 hours, I guess. So what have you guys been up to, Randy?
Um, let's see. Aside from Monster Hunter, not much else. I haven't really played anything lately.
Really?
I just finished like what was available for it, and that's about it.
Yeah, because you level capped already, so now you're just waiting for the DLC, right?
Yeah, just that patch at the end of the month.
Okay. Kevin?
Sleep.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you've been playing the sleep game.
Yeah, I've been playing sleep. I tried to hit rank 6, and then I realized how high of a how tall of an order that was, and I was like, rank 4 is fine. I'll get to 6 eventually.
Yeah, right.
I'll get it by the end of this week. But other than that, nothing else.
Okay, and Danny?
I'm playing Outriders and a little bit of Saga Frontier. The remaster
Ooh.
version
I
came
was
out.
gonna ask you about that. What did you think about it?
Game's harder than I fucking remembered.
I wasn't
I think it was,
feeling it. I really wasn't feeling the nostalgia for it.
I'm having fun. I
Yeah.
mean, I picked one of my favorite characters, right? I'm going through the process. Couldn't remember how like the skills and certain things worked, so it was interesting
Yeah,
on
I
that
mean,
aspect. But
I'll still play it because I like the story. For mostly it was a story that really got me, so I'll still play it. But I wasn't really feeling the just the look of it and the feel of the gameplay and everything. It was kind of like the Abe the Oddworld game. Like it was great
no, yeah.
nostalgia and the story's great, but like I didn't like the way it played.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No,
maybe.
it really is like an older. It's not as good as like most RPGs like modern day because
Yeah,
it really is like a game of its PS1. So like I don't know, it's just a certain way they tell the storyline. I guess is very fast paced and kind of cuts forward, and I don't know, it's not very fluent. It seemed like there's missing translation in between and blah, but it's not very
yeah,
fluent. But I still like all the characters and the moves and getting the moves and again the game's really hard, much harder than I remember. So like first guy get into it, and then once you get a few characters going, it gets a little easier. But leveling system, it's not your average leveling system. There's no like levels. You just I don't know. It's weird, very strange.
yeah,
So,
yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes on the thing. Anybody drinking anything at all? I always gotta ask.
Surprisingly, I'm just having cranberry juice right now.
Nice. Okay.
I'm
My
just
tummy's feeling a little weird.
I got my Yingling.
I'm drinking water. I
Yeah.
You
got
said
the
you got.
shot, so I'm
Well,
scared to
yeah.
do
You need
anything.
to wake up. You don't need alcohol in your system right now.
I don't.
You said you got your dingling. Fucking pervert.
Yes, exactly.
Naughty boy.
All right, so we're
Uh,
gonna we're gonna go to the first article of the day, and that is a Game Informer article. They write
Order.
about Capcom, who is partnering with Oculus Studios and Armature Studios to make a Resident Evil 4 remake, VR style, for the Oculus Quest 2. So while it looks very much like the original game, it's first person this time. So remember, also keep in mind that this isn't the first time that Capcom made a VR game for Resident Evil. They did do it for Resident Evil 7 as well. But with that news in mind, uh, was it Randy who sent me this that you wanted to talk about it? Or was it Kevin? You guys want to start first, whoever sent it to me?
Oh, it was me because it was funny that last week we had mentioned that Resident Evil is like released for fucking everything,
Yeah.
Yeah, we
and
did.
literally
Oh,
days later,
pull out the meme. Pull it out.
it's just like, oh hey, you guys want another Resident Evil 4 only on GameCube? Nope.
Oh, that was such a good meme.
But it's interesting. There seems to be a lot of like remake news actually, if anything,
Mhm.
because the game that we are going to talk about later, that's also a remake.
Oh,
Which one is that? Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
Getsu Fumaden.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very
That-
old game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh!
But yeah, we'll get to that at some point.
Oh, can I mention one that we're not going to talk about that I'm excited for?
Yeah.
Is
The
it
House of the House of
Yep.
the Dead.
House of the Dead.
I love my rail shooters. I recently just played the House of the Dead for on Dave and Buster's. Not shout out, not sponsor.
Thanks for
And it was amazing. Like I really enjoyed it. It brought back memories of like me spending hours playing it. But good game,
Thanks for the invite, Kevin.
bro. I didn't choose it. I was
Thanks for
taken
the
out.
invite.
I was taken out, and I had to be Cinderella. You know, it wasn't me taking myself out.
Anyways,
You were saying?
um, it's really weird that they're making it into VR, but at the same time, like that they're really milking this fucking cash cow because RE4 is the one that basically everyone fucking loves.
Yeah.
So what better thing to do other than they don't have to necessarily make a RE4 remake, but just throw that shit into fucking VR, make it first person now. You are Leon.
When
Like,
when we're when
genuinely.
we're able to play in the Matrix, they'll have a RE7 remake where you could just they be put right in the game just because they can.
Have your own hand chainsawed off.
Well,
Feel the pain.
yeah, but listen, if this game does well, let's say it does really
Yeah.
big and people
Yeah.
like it, then that Ghost Tsushima game and the Resident Evil one that Silent Hill we're gonna make. Like, can you imagine something like that in first person?
So
Ghost of Tsushima in first that would be
And
nauseating.
not Ghost Tsushima. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the no, I'm talking about the Silent Hill.
Oh.
PT.
That'd
Yeah.
be terrifying.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, I would,
They'd have
I
to
would try
involve
it.
like a free pack of adult diapers or some shit.
So
Yeah.
I know none of us, including myself, like we don't have VR systems, but is it appealing to you that it's in VR at all, or is it really
No.
just
No, I mean, for me, I love Resident Evil 4, but like them putting it in first person, it's like I have the game on so many goddamn consoles. It's like what, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like but why? Because like I think it's a cool idea that you do get to play as Leon like in VR, but it's like how much are they gonna let you get away with? Like, can you like grab the Ganados? Can you grab them? Can you actually like use VR till its fullest in that, or is it just like they plop you in there and you just are like just Leon? I was like, I've done this so many times.
That's a good point. Like, did they implement new like gaming systems, or they just literally just change the camera?
Yeah.
They're actually gonna introduce like kind of VR things for your feet, so you could do a roundhouse just like Leon to knock them down.
Oh, that
And
would
then you
be
end up kicking your
nauseating.
foot and break the TV. Watch.
Nice.
Fuck,
Like-
your own child, if anything.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Kevin
But
out here
it's-
knocking out Coco.
Oh man.
Oh, I didn't mean it, Coco. Please. But yeah, it's like if they're gonna implement the actual VR system, then I'm excited for it because then that can be more for like exciting game, like a lot of games, like another Capcom game that they didn't say. Imagine like a VR version of Devil May Cry 3. Like that would make that like it's like that. It's like a
That too would be nauseating.
Yeah.
exactly. Like the roundhouse kick from Leon. If you have to go through the whole motion of it, I would not I'm not gonna play it. I already have motion sickness. That's
Yeah,
not making it better for you.
I remember me and Danny played this game for Xbox called, was it Breakdown or Breakout or something? It was like one of those, it was one of the first person shooters, one of the first person shooters that it was a lot like playing Mirror's Edge, where it wasn't just first person, but like they simulated all the movement and the rolling and all that stuff, and it always made me like dizzy or like motion
But
sick.
the Mirror's Edge did the same thing to me too. I mean,
Well, the thing
after a
is,
while, it's
so
hard to play too.
the for me, Mirror's Edge actually didn't work. Mirror's Edge worked out better for me because with Breakdown, I'm pretty sure it was Breakdown. With that game, they didn't have any a UI implementation to kind of like have you be able to focus on certain things so that we don't get motion sickness, whereas Mirror's Edge did.
Hmm.
So it's a little bit easier to focus on like the center of the screen rather than like just get confused.
Oh, dude, I'm looking at like
Breakdown
5 minutes of
by
this.
Namco?
Which game?
Is it by Namco? Is it like a
Breakdown?
fist on the cover? Yeah.
Yeah, it was mostly melee, I think it was, but it had some weapon stuff. I can't remember too much. It was a long time. It was for the old
Give me,
Xbox.
give me a sec. I'm about to. Oh no! Oh no! No, we're not doing
Yeah,
that.
you see that, right? You see how it
I already,
moves?
I already moved 10 seconds of this, and I'm already feeling nauseous.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
So
bad.
that's I worry about that with some VR games such as Resident Evil when you need to like run around and shoot things constantly and take cover or not take cover, but like, run away.
Wait,
What was that?
hold on. Oh, bro, nah, fuck that. Fuck that game. Fuck that game for getting me sick.
Yeah.
It's really pretty, all things considered. But
It was a good looking game.
there's no reticle.
First time.
That's why.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because at least Mirror's Edge did have a reticle, and most of the time, like for VR games, they try to do like a cage, if anything, like just some form of stability
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
to help you not lose yourself.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I
Well,
mean,
I
so we're
mean,
not
we'll just have
feeling
to
it.
wait and see.
We pretty much just think that the franchise is just, it's just a cash cow. They're just trying to pull some money out. So I
I
completely
want.
agree with you guys.
I mean, it pretty much is.
Yeah.
Fucking, they really want to do something. Fix Resident Evil 6.
Don't talk about my game. Don't talk about my game.
I don't even want
That's
to
the.
talk about that.
I love
I'm
that
not
game.
sure if I played part 6.
I never
Yeah, I don't think
finished
I
part
actually played
6.
it. I never even played it. I think I got over
Can
the
I
series by then.
can I tell you no joke? In high school, it took me 3 months to beat that game.
Yeah, because it's
That's
painful to play. That's why.
No, because I only played it at my best friend's house and in high school. So like every time I went there, like we would die like I would say a good 35 times before we beat a chapter. And I was like, bro, I can't. This is 3 hours. It's 3 hours of us doing the same
I
thing.
couldn't stand the pacing of that game, and just it's just too much action and just no horror whatsoever. It's just
Mm.
I hated
You
it.
know, they need to remake 4 and 5, especially 5 when Leon punches the bogeyman. Just
Or even an actual complete remake of RE4. I don't even care so much for it because they've milked that cow so much already.
hmm
I mean RE5 maybe I could agree with you, I
hmm
guess, because
hmm
they I don't think they've ever even really ported it before, have they? After it was released, I'm not
RE5 is
sure.
on PC also.
Yeah.
Say again.
It's on PC. I think it's on Steam. Like,
Mm,
Yes, it is. Definitely is on Steam, baby boys.
okay.
but yeah, no. You didn't like the part where Wesker's son got like that super arm in 6?
No.
You
I
know, like
love
the part
6.
with
Actually, I
Wesker's
think that's
son?
where I stopped when I started that chapter.
I love 6. Hate oh shit, it's still on sale.
Yo, Resident Evil 5 is $5.
I'm about to buy it because that's really one of my favorite Resident Evils. Okay, we're doing it in the car.
All right, so we're gonna move on.
Hey.
Keeping with the Resident Evil news, they're also announced that Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, it's a Netflix movie. It's coming out soon. It's completely
Mhm.
CGI animated and it looks pretty damn good. Danny, did you get to see the trailer at all?
Yeah,
How would you think?
it's a trailer. I mean, it's they didn't show too much in the trailer. It was more like a I don't know. I guess it teased the fact that they're gonna have other content about the story or the lore that maybe you didn't know. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Hmm.
I guess that's what they're gonna be doing to fill it up. I mean, it is a series and it's gonna be however long, but ultimately, it just for me, it all depends when you actually watch it how it actually ties everything in to the games and how it combines it, does whatever it does. That's what's gonna matter most.
Yeah, that does matter most. I mean, I know it's a trailer, and some trailers they don't give you enough information or, uh, I guess enough detail to be hyped up with the game. But like in general, you happy that there's like this whole new franchise of Resident Evil movies and TV shows?
No, because for me, it's just they're beating a dead horse. I mean, I'm a dead horse, but just they're beating this into the ground. It's like
Yeah.
it's Resident Evil, everything, VR, games, this. I mean, it's three different fucking games coming out. I feel like between remakes and new ones, and then TV show, movies. This is it's way too much. I feel like they need to just focus on one aspect,
Hmm.
whether it be the game this year, and then like a few years from now, then maybe put out a movie, and then if you miss them, then like just slow it down a little bit. There's so much all at once.
Randy?
Yeah, I actually agree with that one. There is a lot going on. Because 8 just got like what 3 demos, and then you got the
Yeah.
fucking VR
Yeah.
announcement and this
Yeah.
Infinite Darkness thing, and yeah, they really got to
Like
slow
what
it down.
if they did just eight and the show to promote the game? It would make sense. Or a movie, that would make sense. Fine. But this and the VR and all this, it's just way too much all at once.
They're basically
Oh
pulling like a
Jesus!
Sonic, a whole Sega thing.
Yeah.
It's bright as hell.
Kevin, now the spotlight's on you, literally.
Oh, hey, hi, hello. I'm excited. I love every time they throw out a CGI Resident Evil movie, even though like we're getting like right now we're getting a Resident Evil overload right now with reverses and the game and Resident Evil 4. Like I'm excited for the movie.
Mercenaries
That's
too.
yeah, Mercenary. Oh boy, Mercenary.
Yeah.
The
Hi.
fuck? There's something else?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's an extra game mode in Resident Evil 8 that's going to come out with it, which is mercenary mode.
Okay. I thought you
So
meant like a whole different like fucking IP.
No.
It's like an arcadey
No.
shooter. It turns into pretty much.
Ooh, okay. That's cute. I like that. But yeah, I'm excited for the movie. I always love when they throw these movies out. The trailer I enjoyed. It kind of gave me, I don't know if you guys played the game, but Resident Evil The Dark Side Chronicles for the Wii.
It was
Like
a
the way the
rail
character
shooter, wasn't it?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's not because it's a real shooter. It's because the way that they look gave me that feeling and I was like, "Oh,
Mm.
fine, I enjoy it." But yeah, good stuff. I'm excited for it. I'm going to watch it. Going to watch the shit out of it and I'm probably going to rewatch the movies before.
Surprisingly,
this
too, like this all came out because Capcom was, revealing a bunch of Resident Evil content, including Mercenaries, and for some reason they never announced the actual Resident Evil movie, like the actual theatrical movie. No trailer, no teaser, no talk about it, no nothing. And I already know that they wrapped filming because they posted it on Twitter that they wrapped filming. So I'm surprised that they didn't announce anything.
They it's one of those things that they just caught up with the hype of, well, they're trying to not care about the show so much because I feel like at this point if the show bombs, they still have the games to come out because like, oh,
Yep.
if Resident Evil 8 bombs, we have Resident Evil 4 on VR, and it's like they're trying to, I guess, prepare or preemptively prepare themselves for if one of the things bomb, they have something to cover for it, like Resident Evil 8 or the movie or 4 or Mercenary or Resident Evil Cuddle Time or some shit like that they have coming out. You know what I mean?
Is that the dating
That's for
sim?
8, right?
That's a dating sim. That's
No,
dating
see,
sim. Yeah.
I actually have a leaked screenshot as my picture for Cuddle Time.
Mhm. Oh, really?
Oh, really? Yeah, look at it.
I mean, that is true.
Who is
Like-
that hugging her? I
fuck
can't
me.
see that.
Here, I'll just send you the actual picture over
Okay.
text. Okay. That way we get a
Well,
live reaction.
while you're doing that, I'm gonna
Is
move on
that
to the next.
that's the guy from Jurassic Park? No.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
Makes
okay.
sense.
He's
It's
doing
when
that
he
like
puts his head in-
dinosaur. Yeah.
Yeah, when he I guess Triceratops or whatever that was dying or sick or whatever.
Yeah,
Hold on
yeah.
before we move it. hold on before we move into the article. Coco, do you have something to say about the game?
Silence,
I am a
exactly.
fucking dog. We cannot talk.
There you go,
What the
guys. She
hell?
she spoke she spoke her mind.
One thing though that I actually am kind of like glad about, I guess, with the
Mm-hmm.
Infinite Darkness,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's more than 15 frames a second because Netflix has had some fucking animations that have looked horrid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Have you seen their Cyborg 009?
No.
No.
Please,
Okay,
please
Kevin?
don't. Please don't. Don't
Dude,
mention
that,
that.
that runs at like fucking 10 frames a second. I hate it.
That was so it was so dog shit. I'm sorry. It's so bad.
I just got to the intro and I was like, I can't do this. I can't watch this.
I watched the running scene and that was
maybe,
it because they made a
maybe,
meme out of it.
maybe Capcom kind of like put their foot into it and you
They
know,
were like, you are
or
not gonna fuck us over right
yeah,
now.
yeah. So maybe they gave them the money or the resources or just made sure that it
Just
didn't run
take our
like shit.
team. That's it.
Yeah.
Do a good job. Do a good job. That's
No,
it.
because their CG has been pretty fucking good for their animated
Their
movies.
movies, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Also, I feel like they haven't said anything about the live action because they've had a pretty fucking shit record for live action movies. So they'd
Ooh.
rather not Resident Evil.
Wouldn't you want to
Ooh.
start the hype for something new though? Because you don't want it to like the old movie to overshadow this new thing.
How many Resident Evil movies have there been?
In
Four,
total?
Yes.
five or
Five.
six,
Five.
like the
Okay,
live
with only
action
one
ones.
of those, yes, with only one
Yeah.
of those being good, nobody wants to know about another fucking live action Resident Evil movie. I don't want to know about another fucking live action Resident Evil.
I
I want to be
do.
pleasantly
Unless
surprised,
they
if
said
anything.
they said they're remaking, unless they're saying they're redoing it, like starting over.
A
Like,
Snyder cut, if anything.
no, there's no fucking Snyder cut. There's no 4 hours of that fucking crap movie, Mila. Anyway, but if
Wait,
they said they,
I just
if
wanted to
they
add.
said,
Were you guys talking about live action movies? In total, I think there's 6.
Yeah, 6. Okay,
Or-
I knew it was
yeah,
either
6.
5 or 6.
but if they said that they were gonna redo it and keep it true to the core where Jill and Barry were the main characters,
Mhm.
wouldn't you be more excited over that versus another
Mila flipping
bad?
over a giant zombie bat
But
thingy, like
I mean, yeah, exactly. But I'm saying even it would be more excited if you heard the main character is the Jill. It was Barry, right? Was the main first one?
Chris and Jill,
Chris and Jill. Sorry, Barry was it was just one of the guys.
the
Anyway,
side character. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. If they told you Chris and Jill were the main characters of a movie and they were redoing it and bringing it back to its original, that'd be way more exciting than any animated film they can do.
Mm-hmm.
I
I mean,
agree. That's why I'm hyped for it because it has actual characters from the games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just hope. Oh, pardon me, that they actually do it right this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
I guess. Huh?
I gave up with the live. I gave up with the live action movies. Honestly, I saw all of them, and I was like, I'm over it.
That's also
Like-
that'd also be a thing. If they do a good live action
Yeah.
movie, it doesn't have that big of a bar to really go over because
Now,
it's
but
dropped so far down.
Randy does make a good point though, still, because maybe it's not just or maybe it's not the fact that they're worried about how the movie is going to be viewed because of the reputation of the old movies. Maybe they're scared because this movie is just as bad,
Mm.
and they're kind of avoiding it until the last
Until
month or
release.
something, let's say, before it releases or whatever. Like that kind of worries me too. That there have been studios that have done that before, where they'll just wait on marketing because it might not work out so well.
Yeah,
Even for
It could
games,
be.
they do that. Like, what is it? Square Enix with Left Alive, was it? You know Left Alive, right?
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So that game came out what, like last year, 2 years ago?
Don't
Something like that?
left alive. Give me 1 second. It's right now.
It's a really shitty Square Enix game that there was no like advertisement at all for it, and it kind of just came out under the radar.
Hmm.
I don't know about
Strange.
this at
Yeah,
all.
give it a look. It's pretty garbage.
It does look garbage, but yeah.
Left Alive came out 2 years ago, 2019.
Yeah.
February 28th. Yeah. Oh, I remember
Yeah, that
this
was pretty
game.
recent.
Uh-huh.
I remember
And
this
again,
game.
no
It being-
marketing.
I heard the premise of the story and I was like, oh, this sounds really, really fucking boring. Wow. I was like, wow, this sucks. And then I saw a review for it and I was like, everybody agreed that the game is very this and that. Opinions were subjective. Some opinions were subjective, but everybody agreed that the game was poor in its own right, and it was very stale and difficult for no reason, like in the worst ways.
It was difficult.
Mm.
It was difficult because the mechanics weren't really like fleshed out.
Mhm.
Like the stealth wasn't stealth. The stealth was like, hey, my toe is sticking out from behind cover, and
Shoot
then
him!
everyone's alerted.
Shoot him!
So it was Tenchu.
Yeah.
Don't you dare!
What time did I leave yesterday? Oh, I'm gonna have to text her later. Sorry, work was texting me. Anyways,
Excuse me, you're working right now.
yeah, I am
You're on the
working right
clock.
now. I'm working
You're
for
on the
free.
clock. Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna move to the next article now.
Let's
This is an IGN article now. They're explaining that the Castlevania Netflix show, is going to be done after this coming fourth and final season, which is on May 13th. And they have said, this is on the article. It says, quote, Netflix Twitter account has announced the final season of Castlevania will arrive on May 13th. The streamer released a new teaser to go along with the announcement. However, this doesn't mean Castlevania will be leaving Netflix for good. Deadline reports a new series set in the same Castlevania universe is being planned. According to the report, this new series will be set in the same universe but will focus on a new cast of characters. No other details have been reported. End quote. I don't think it'll be Symphony of the Night because they already had Alucard on there. So if they're doing a side story, they'll probably avoid him. But
Maybe.
but
But
anyways,
if you're gonna do a side story, they're gonna do a character that you know already.
possibly,
Honestly, I only
yeah.
watched.
There's a
I
hell of
really
a lot
only
of
watched the first season of.
Oh, you got to watch that
Yeah.
shit. There's nothing as you would think you would want in a Castlevania,
I know that's
show,
why I saw when I saw the first one. That's
but
kind
the
of what I
story's
thought.
good. The story's really good. So did anybody else like the series? Did anybody see it? Kevin, Randy?
I actually didn't watch it.
I've never watched the show.
Oh God, you guys are missing out, man.
Listen,
it's really good. It's really good. It's really good story. There's just not a lot of action. But when the action
That's the thing.
happens, it's good.
Yeah, that's the thing that got me. It's one of those animes or shows or whatever that has potential to have so many cool scenes, but instead they'll have like one cool fight scene every like 3 episodes, maybe.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of promise and premise, and it's because they're so storyline driven because of the way the video and the way it works. But I don't know.
I mean, to be fair,
It wasn't
Castlevania is
my
pretty
favorite.
story-driven.
Say again, Randy.
Yeah.
So Castlevania is pretty story driven.
Yeah, it
Like
is.
there is actually like a whole lot to the world.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind
Yeah.
of like their chance to just like add more to it and like flesh it out.
Which is why, like, I'm sure, like Danny said, they're gonna have a lot of new characters because there's a ton of lore and a ton of characters from different titles. It doesn't have to focus on Alucard and Belmont at all.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
because they do have like Order of Ecclesia, fucking Aria of Sorrows,
yeah,
all that shit.
yeah, you got a lot of stuff, and I think those people aren't even Belmonts. Those DS games. I think a lot of them were like side characters and stuff that you play with. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
So.
yeah. So here's a question for you aside from talking about that, since clearly you guys haven't seen it, so there's not much talking about the show. But as a side question, is there a game you would like to have the same treatment as Castlevania? Danny.
Metal Gear.
Ah, that's cool. An animated series?
Yeah, because I mean it's kind of so far fetched, and then granted towards the last season, it gets just like the game to get weird, but still,
Yeah.
I think Kojima, could really put what he wants
He
into
does
and
love
make
his
it like,
movies. He could do a good show.
Oh,
I
does he
mean,
fucking ever?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, a lot of that, like one of the, what was it, Medical 4?
Yeah.
What was the last one that came out?
5.
So I think it was 4. The end was the ending where he's in the fucking vent burning to death, and
Yeah.
it's
Trying to
like so
stop the
dramatic, you
whatever.
know.
Yeah.
Like that last scene was for like an hour long, you know,
Yeah.
after you beat the boss, and it was really dramatic. And I feel like they could make a whole series like that, you know. And they have all this sneaking around, and you know, part of it,
Yeah.
but not obviously like the game, but like you know,
That's a good one. That
and
is a good
then
one.
Wait,
Kevin,
that's my
do you
what about
actually?
you?
Hold on, let me ask him real quick. Do you
Yeah.
actually know the action that's coming out?
The
what?
what?
The live action Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Oh
The
yeah,
guy from Star Wars is Snake.
Oscar Isaac, yeah. No, but
Metal,
Danny.
Metal Gear.
what was the question? I'm sorry.
That if you're aware of the live action Metal Gear that's coming out.
Yeah, but the problem is here's the problem that I have with movies that are based off games like this, is that movies can only do so much, whereas in a show
You could flesh things out more.
you can really tell a story. You know, you can really get some in depth. And I think a game like that has way more than just 2 hours. You know, and I think that's going to be part of the problem. I mean, granted, if you just do the first one,
Yeah, no,
maybe you can get
it's
away
only
with
gonna
it,
be
but
Shadow Moses, I think.
yeah, but like in a full series, I think you can get behind Big Boss. You can do the whole backstory. You can do a whole lot, like in the flashbacks and stuff like that, and it would be the story be told proper almost. But I am excited for the movie. Though. I am excited for the original for the live action movie. I think it'll be great. I think seeing Revolver Ocelot is gonna be badass.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Kevin, you got an idea for a show?
Yeah, but they already made it. So I was gonna say the world ends with you, and
Uh,
they already made an anime
yeah.
for it. So I was like, damn it, I can't get anything I want.
yeah, that's good.
But if I can think of one, no, I don't think I can, because every game that I've played, they already did the idea of making it into a show or something,
Mhm.
except for not trying to tickle his fancy, but Kingdom Hearts, I don't think they made a show off of it.
I don't think I would like that, honestly.
Yeah, so it's like, if to think of one, not really. I don't think there is a game that I've played that I would want to show out of.
I agree with it. With fuck, what's his name? Randy.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
Every week.
No, last week was Randall.
Oh, Randall.
Don't start this shit. Kevin.
I'm just stating the facts. That's all it is.
But Kingdom Hearts would make a horrible TV show or a
yeah.
movie
It'd be bad.
because part of the beauty of the game is the RPG element and playing it and all that BS stuff.
Mhm.
But having just him go to like play with fucking, it would be there's no way to make that as adult as not adult, but as fun as we like it, like at our level, like we can see the gratitude in the Final Fantasy aspect, like the mix, you can feel it. But just no way to do that in a show, because it'll have to be all cartoony, or just it won't work. So it'll be all kiddie. So he'll be playing with fucking Ariel and fucking Belle, and he'll be like, "This is stupid. Why are we watching this?"
I'll tell you exactly what it would be. House of Mouse.
Oh yeah,
Oh my god.
awesome. Exactly what it would be.
Definitely.
So, Randy, that would be your choice, I would assume.
Kingdom Hearts? God, no. Hell no.
No. What would yours be then?
I literally just fucking saw it, and I was looking at it on my fucking Steam thing, and I totally forgot what it was, because it's like Kevin said Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, what? No, and it like knocked out of my fucking brain. Shit. Hold on, let me.
Okay. So I'll throw one out that I actually played and I enjoyed a bit. The story of it. I think they can do it, and it's very easy. Way of the Samurai would be a very good game that they can make a show and or movie out of.
Way
I
of
would-
the
I feel like
Samurai. Can you
I
remember
feel
what
like
that was?
I feel like every samurai movie is based off of that.
The Blade of the Samurai,
Like-
right?
What was Way of the
Here's
Samurai?
what
It is a PS2 game that you are basically a samurai, and
What? No
right.
shit.
yeah, I know it's so fucking easy. It's literally you create a character.
So was it like an easy or not easy? It really sounds so familiar. Wasn't it like Ghost of Tsushima, but more like linear?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, it's on Steam. Well, time to go to the store and add
I'm
that to
trying
my
to remember.
cart.
I'm pretty sure we played that, right, Danny?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see.
I made like
Right.
4 different bars of that stupid game.
Well, so for my answer, I'm just gonna go to my answer because, or we're gonna be short on time. Legend of Zelda.
Ooh.
Legend of Zelda.
Oh,
like
yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah,
They
I
scrapped
could do that.
They scrapped the idea. They should bring that shit back. Like I would have been so down for 10 years of a fucking TV show. There's so much like lore, and they can touch on every single franchise. He could be reincarnated every single like season to a new story, pretty much. Like it writes itself.
No, we'll
Hold
be good.
hold on. I got you with something right now. Ready?
Uh.
Ready? I'm gonna blow your fucking mind. Doctor Who.
What? Oh, like
you
Doctor
basically
Who?
you basically just explained Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No, but I get what he's. I love
Yeah.
Doctor Who. But I get what he's saying now. Like,
Oh yeah,
and
no, definitely.
you do a new season, and then it'd be like the Breath of the Wild type of animation, or
Yeah.
the world itself. Where it's way different from Majora's Mask or whatever it is, or even having a crazy Majora's Mask season where it's that Groundhog Day season.
Oh, that'd be
And
a
just
fucking
imagine, you
nightmare.
can also change the art style.
Not
the
even an
same
episode
way,
or two.
You can change the art style every season or so, and every now and then. Like just imagine like one season is just like Wind Waker, and then the other season is a little bit more realistic, and then another season.
And then
it's a little
another one
more-
is like the CDI.
like oh god, it plays like
Wow.
South Park. It's all just side,
Oh.
just like that's so bad.
Actually, we're gonna talk about. I was actually gonna talk about that later because that was the community question of
Yeah.
worst games, and I was
Okay.
like, that's on my top, but it's not the top because I played a few. But when looking, I was like, fuck, I remember playing this and being excited about this. But,
Yeah. Okay.
So I got the game
Okay.
Deus Ex.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's a good
I don't know
sci-fi.
much about the storyline.
Sci-fi
of Deus Ex
steam,
stuff.
not cyberpunkish type of story. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of
'Cause
like
basically it's just like
go ahead.
Ghost in the Shell.
I was gonna say more like I guess Ghost in the Shell is a better comparison because I was gonna say like Blade Runner.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh wow. Yeah. It would be
Yeah, I never
interesting
seen
though.
Blade
'cause
Runner
it's
either.
like- oh, haven't? Oh wow.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait.
I
before-
wanted when the remake came out or a sequel, I wanted to watch the original, and I just never did.
What was it?
It's long and very it's a slow fuse.
That's
It's a
what
slow
everybody.
burn.
That's what everybody says. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would Splinter Cell be a good game to movie or show? Or am
Maybe
I
a
just-
movie.
It'd be
Not
like
really
a,
a
it'd be like
show.
a fake James.
Ask
It
yourself-
can't.
ask
It'd be like a
yourself
fake James Bond. Everybody would just compare it to James Bond or something.
Which
I don't
is
think it
why
would really work,
which is why
'cause-
a movie would work because it'll be a good action stealth movie, but like as a show, there's not much to flesh out as a show.
Mhm.
But also ask yourself,
Yeah.
was Hitman a good movie adaptation?
Hell no.
No.
No, it's a ball
No,
and
it's
shooting
So
people.
would Splinter Cell work? Because they're very similar, if anything. Just that
Yeah. I
Hitman
agree.
is more like
Well, Sam
Hitman
Fisher
in the
is
shadows.
Sam Fisher has been made more of a character than Agent 47. Like he has very little backstory. In fact, he literally has no history aside from when he was like quote unquote created as a hitman. Whereas Fisher has his entire time
They
in
have
the
a whole
military up until
backstory, but
he
they
becomes
have a whole
Splinter Cell.
backstory with Agent 47. I
Yeah,
mean, the whole concept of
okay.
Agent 47 is that he doesn't know who he is and he's trying to figure it out.
right.
A whole one identity type thing, I mean, there is more story with that. With Sam Fisher, there is. I
And
don't
with
feel
that,
like there's
that's
much
Jason
story with Sam
Bourne.
Fisher.
That's the Bourne trilogy right there.
Yes,
Jesus
it's very
Christ.
true.
And
It's
there
very
was
true,
Splinter
that
Cell
is.
too.
But
Because
funny
if
thought, I
you're
feel like
talking
that
about,
character doesn't really. That Sam Fisher doesn't really have that much of a
Sam Fisher
character. I mean,
appeals more to me than Hitman does.
because now he's like all, buff and dad looking as opposed to how he was before.
yeah,
Sam Fisher,
Yeah, he had that beard going on. He has a salt and pepper hair.
I guess.
yeah. Now he looks like fucking Metal
But
Gear
so
Snake.
I was just gonna say that actually the thing is with that is that it wouldn't be a good idea because he would be too close of a comparison to Snake when the Metal Gear movie comes out.
Um,
No.
what was it though? You saying like his military history and whatnot before he like ended up becoming, Splinter Cell. That would be interesting, like an origin story. But I don't know. I don't think that it would really work at all.
No, I don't. I agree.
Because
Yeah.
I
even
don't
then,
agree
like
with
the games that did kind of quote unquote flesh him out, they didn't really do anything in like a smart way. Because one of them is literally just like Sam Fisher's fucking off in some island doing his own thing, and then he literally gets bothered by the terrorist organization. The only person that could stop them, they're just like, "Hey, what if? Hear me out. We riled up the only fucking guy that could ever oppose us."
Boom, terrorists.
So it's like that's not really character development. It's just, hey, let's just get him out of retirement for fucking shiggles, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, wasn't just that though, because he also had a connection with his daughter, and his daughter played a good part of two games on in the series as well. Like I think one of them was she was freaking kidnapped or she was involved in some way, and another one he just wanted to make time for his daughter, and he had to come out of retirement because they needed him. So like he has some struggles with being like a single dad, basically trying to like stay connected to his daughter. So it has some human aspects, you know what I mean? With Hitman, it's just he fucking kills people, and that's what he's born and bred to do. And
You got Mr. Clean running around shooting people. Let's just call it what it is. It's Mr. Clean.
Mr.
You know
Clean,
what we
yeah,
need? You know what the world fucking needs? HBO, hear
Uh,
me out. A Kane and Lynch series.
that would be good.
dude.
That'd be good.
The game is not that great, but the dynamic and
Far
story
from
of
it.
Kane and Lynch, hell yeah, yeah,
It's better off as a show.
yeah. I agree. Kane and Lynch would rock as a TV show.
King and Lynch 2022, HBO. The ball's in your
Yo, come
court.
on.
Yeah. All right,
From
so
TDG to HBO.
we're gonna move on. The Sony PS5 has now officially beat Nintendo Switch for the world's fastest selling console ever. This article that is written by Skylar Cohen on Gamerant. She says, or sorry, he or she, I'm not sure. Sony's advertising clearly hit the mark, leading to an ongoing shortage of PS5s worldwide that persists almost half a year after it's released. Unquote. This quote I say specifically because it kind of bothers me. They're kind of making it seem like the play. It's great that the PlayStation has outsold the Nintendo, and they're they're the best selling console ever, pretty much. Period. Now, but it make it seem like the reason why the shortage is because it's selling so well is bullshit. Because we all know that this system had a really bad scalping situation going on along with the Xbox as well. So it's a little bit of like this
but
mixed
it's
information kind of stuff.
yes and no. I mean, yes, scalpers get to good effect, but the scalpers still bought it. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah,
somebody
you're
still
absolutely
bought
right.
They still bought the
But
system.
I get that technically yes, the numbers are what is talking. The numbers say it's the best selling console because the scalpers bought like 10 systems and it adds on to those numbers. I get that,
More
but
than
at
that,
the
but
same time, I still feel like it's bullshit that they would even announce something like this because they don't. In my opinion, they don't deserve this type of recognition because so many scalpers bought multiple systems in order to skewer the actual systems that were really sold by real people that actually wanted to buy the system. You know what I mean?
yeah, but most people. But okay, here's the thing: most of the scalpers, not all of them obviously, but most of the scalpers who did this ended up reselling their devices to people.
And Sony
So
didn't make any
therefore,
profit out of that.
but it doesn't matter. They still made the original profit, which is what this is based off of. right? This whole
Yeah.
concept is we sold a bunch of consoles. So let's say there were no scalpers. Those people still would have went and bought the console.
And that I absolutely, but that's what I'm saying is if there were no scalpers, I would be more happy and I guess you could say proud or I think it's great that they're the best selling console now because actual people bought the systems. But the fact that the numbers are skewered because hundreds of thousands of fucking scalpers just bought 10 systems each. I don't give a shit about numbers. I don't care that you're the fastest selling console now because your numbers don't mean shit when real actual people who wanted the system actually didn't get the system. If anything, they did get the system and they had to pay double the fucking price for it.
Yeah, you tell them.
Yeah, which sucks. But you can't really fault them at all. Like
I
PlayStation,
don't. I
no,
don't.
but PlayStation and them saying, "Hey, we outsold, we outsold the Wii. We
And I
did
say
this."
fuck you Sony for telling me that because I think your
But
numbers are bullshit.
it's not their fault. Like
Mhm.
none of that is their fault. In fact, they done what they could to stop it. They had their lines. They put in the
No,
proper
they didn't.
software because
They didn't. The stores did. Walmart, Amazon, Target, they're
no,
the
no,
ones who
no, no,
had
that's
to
not
implement
true.
these systems.
That's not true. PlayStation did it way before I was able to buy my.
They
I
did
was
it
able to buy my
after. They
PS5.
did it
No,
after.
Walmart did it after, and a lot of those places did it way after. And PlayStation did it first. PlayStation had the proper queue that
The
was
queue
only
line, yeah.
allowed. Yeah, they had the queue line that you had to log in. You couldn't. You had to log into your PlayStation Network in order to get it, and it was one PS per account.
Yeah.
They did it right. They they allowed, and this is very early in the beginning, the first 2 weeks. That's when I got my PlayStation. They did it right. They were the only ones to do it right. The scammers mostly came from Walmart and Best Buy and all that stuff because they didn't have, especially like places like Walmart. Walmart's not a fucking technology based company. Maybe Best Buy should have known better, but Walmart's not. Like this is not what they do. They have a website. They just want to sell shit. They don't give a fuck on how it's sold. Only reason they did anything way after like months and months, like it's how you got yours, was because then people complained and bitched about scalping so much, and they're like, okay, maybe we should do something because people are complaining. But ultimately, they don't give a fuck either because they're making money off something that they have no clue why they're making money.
Okay.
So I don't think it's PlayStation's fault. PlayStation did what they could. They could not expect to be this many scalpers. I mean, yeah, there's always a few scalpers every year, but nobody could ever imagine that it would have been to this level where it was almost a game for people.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anybody
So
else?
they made their money. They're good.
Yeah. I can be mad and pissy about them saying that, oh, we're selling the best system, but it's like a due to like the current situation and like them not having a lot. It's like a whatever feeling. I still don't have one, so like till I get one, I'll probably get like an opinion and be like that. But it's right over my head.
I
I
mean,
was
but
like,
do you have an opinion because of the fact that you don't have one because it's so difficult still after 6 months to get one?
I mean, not really. I kind of expected it to be like bad, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. So it's like I'm not upset, but I'm just like I'm kind of just waiting because eventually all this scalping is probably gonna die down a little bit less, like more. So it's not gonna be as harsh to get it, but
I don't think so. I think that scalping is still gonna be a fucking thing for
I
this.
think so
no,
too.
no. I don't mean scalping like it's going to die down. I mean like it's not going to be as bad as it is. Like
To get a PS5,
yeah,
right?
to
But
get a
I think
PS5.
scalping. I
Yeah.
Well,
think scalping is going to be a new
the
trend when
the
any new system comes out from now on.
Mhm.
Now
Yeah.
because
the
they've made
issue
so much
is
money off of this.
the issue like with the scalping thing, like it's not going to go away, and I agree with Danny. Like it's not going to go away, and it might even get worse. But the issue,
Yeah.
it's a combination also because it's not just the scalpers, but the fact that Sony is having a hard time keeping up with the demand because also there's a lot of parts that they have a hard time trying to get a hold of because of COVID. So
Mhm.
they're trying to build these systems as fast as possible, but they can't keep up
And right.
because there's a lot of stuff they can't get a hold of. So in combination with the fucking scalpers buying all the systems that they actually are able to make, it kind of like it screws everybody.
And ultimately, you gotta like think about if you want to fault PlayStation, not fault, but if you want to say something that PlayStation might not have, if there was no pandemic, PlayStation might not have done as well as it did because people were home doing nothing and looking for something, pulling for teeth, give some kind of entertainment, something different, something new. So buying a PlayStation, being able to stay online and hunt these things down like it's a game, so you can get one at a reasonable price was it's all part of the pandemic, and it's like what the numbers would have been if there was no pandemic. Would it have been as high? Would it have been this big of a deal with scalpers? There are so many like what ifs, but ultimately they are the number one right now, and until the next. Like, I don't see anything else dethroning
So the
them
next
for a while
Nintendo
because
comes out
they'll.
because Nintendo is always the highest selling console.
Yeah, but I don't think, as as we talked about, the next Nintendo console doesn't really sound like it's that big of the Switch Pro. It doesn't really sound like it's going to
I
be
mean,
that big of a.
that's just an iteration. I'm talking about like a brand new console, but that's not
Oh yeah,
years from
yeah,
now.
yeah. That is true. When the next one comes out, then it will probably break the record. But again, they got at least 2-3 years before that happens.
Randy, did we get any opinion from you?
Well, listening to everything, I did kind of form another opinion.
Mm,
I think that scalping still would have been the same, pandemic or not, honestly. Because the thing with
hmm
that is that like everyone is so like dick righty with Xbox and PlayStation, more so PlayStation
What does that
than
mean?
any. As in, like they're very, how to put it, either bandwagony or they're just like they veer more towards it just because it's PlayStation.
Uh,
So there were going to be those people that were going to buy the fucking PlayStations in bulk if like we didn't have this whole like pandemic going on. It still would have been a problem.
But it wasn't a problem. But it wasn't a problem for. Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. It wasn't
There
a
we
problem
go.
for PS. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't a problem for Xbox because people were on the bandwagon. Yeah, you are
Yeah.
quite right on
No
that
one
part.
really
But
cared much
but
about the
again,
Xbox.
I really do think it's a part of the PlayStation is what most people have anyway. PlayStation is what most people think of when older people especially play games. Like if you say it's either gonna say Nintendo or PlayStation because it's just like a Sony. It's
Yeah.
more better known than Nintendo for older people. So I really do think it's part of the time where the pandemic did hit and people were looking for games or playing games way more than anything else, you know, and
yeah,
they were playing on the PlayStation mostly because it's the fucking phone of consoles. Everybody has it because
Basically,
they say that's the one they should have.
yeah, no, because even if like, for example, if the Switch and the PS5 were both announced at the same time, like just
Hmm.
hypothetically, the PlayStation 5 still would have been more sought after than the Switch,
No,
mainly because of the games that like they are able to play. It's just a bigger console. It's a bigger name, even though Nintendo is a pretty big fucking name, obviously. But there will always be that more favoritism towards a certain brand, if anything. Like that
hmm
Nintendo's gonna sell. Nintendo's gonna fucking sell because they're right in that middle ground that it's like, hey, dude, we're
especially
family friendly.
overseas.
Everyone is gonna like absolutely fucking love us, no doubt about it. When we were having a discussion before about whether we're gonna get the Xbox Series X or the PS5, we were all going for the PlayStation 5. Now, if that was just like our mindset, imagine that in mass. And imagine that as a tainted mass where these dickheads want to fucking scalp like crazy, that's gonna happen whether we're on lockdown or whether we're not.
Well, I feel like I'm.
But I think one thing for gamers is
Mhm,
and when it comes to the gamer size, it's because when you saw PlayStation versus it was Xbox One,
mhm,
PlayStation won, PlayStation 4 won that
mhm.
year. The year before that, prior to that, it was
Let's see.
PS3 versus the 360,
hmm
and 360 won. So when a 360 won the next year, the next set of gen consoles, people were way more excited about the Xbox One than they were the PS4 because the PS3 was such a letdown.
no, they
And then the
weren't.
PS4,
because they
People,
they off the bat announced when they announced the system that it was required to have internet service, and they barely announced any games for the system when they first announced it. So people were up in arms about that system actually.
but and they announced all the innovative, media things that it was going on with it.
Yeah,
That they were trying when it first came out. That got people excited, and people were talking about that way more than they were talking about anything that the PS4 was doing, because the PS4 really wasn't doing anything new. It just was trying to
it was this.
improve on
Yeah,
its.
on the same
It
things
was just
that
trying
they
to,
were.
yeah, it was just trying to improve on what they did and they messed up on. In the
Yeah.
PS3, they had the technology,
Uh,
they had
I
some of
still
the
feel
stuff,
like
they just
the
weren't able to
Xbox messed up
capitalize on
more
it.
so. I feel like the Xbox messed up more so, and they definitely got recognition and had definitely had people talking, but all for all the wrong reasons. I feel.
Yeah, but no, but they no. What I'm saying is I think people when the two consoles, because PS3 bombed and Xbox 360 was a success. When the next gen consoles both got announced, people were more excited for the Xbox One than they were
Yeah,
the PS4
yeah,
in the beginning. The same
yeah.
way you were more excited about the years prior to
You're
that.
saying before all that bullshit was announced.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Before, but then Xbox One didn't deliver.
yeah,
And people are, oh shit, PS4 is not popular. And because PS4 was the one that was more popular than Xbox, it moved on to the next gen, where you already have your mindset because you're a PS4 fanboy now, because that year that's what won.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I'll
but
flip flop
again,
around. I have no loyalty to any one system.
Yeah.
well, no,
Yeah,
whatever
neither
system
for.
is, whatever, because I was an Xbox. I liked
Yeah,
Xbox. I loved Xbox. I was excited if I had the Xbox One. I thought it was everything. I had it as my main console. I used it as a TV type of thing.
yeah.
And then it wasn't until my wife got me a PS4. I'm like, well, the games on this look better, play better, and well, why am I? And you have more games. Why am I playing the Xbox?
Kevin, you've been looking like you want to say a couple of things. So
Nah, it's for me. I was gonna say before when Randy was talking about everybody likes the Xbox. I mean the PlayStation. I was like, I mean I like PlayStation, but I like the idea that Xbox was doing. So that's mainly why I'm mainly was looking for an Xbox with emulation because I love emulation, even though it's frowned upon. I do love that with the Xbox, it's not as difficult to emulate, and they're actually, I guess, promoting you doing it, but it's like a paid service. But it's like
mhm.
a roundabout way of doing it, but it's on the console and you can actually do it on it. So that's why I was looking for the Xbox Series X. But like with scouting, it's like it doesn't matter if I'm going for the P4 or the Xbox. I mean the P5 or the Xbox. It's like I won't be able to get it till like it's more available or whatever. But
You
it's
gotta
more like
put in the work for it now.
you
Like
gotta
now you gotta put in work to actually buy a console.
yeah, it's
Nah.
and I feel like that's the game of it. Like everybody's even though it's like it's a shitty situation and like the situation that we're in with the pandemic, it's like somebody they have to make some kind of joy of it. But I feel like I feel like scouting for it, like looking for it yourself feels like more rewarding than just like going to GameStop and getting it or like going to Best Buy and getting it. It's like you actually have to work to get it and it feels more rewarding. I was like eventually we'll find it. Uh
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I
And,
like
and,
like
and that is, that is
Danny
very
you
true, because
go ahead,
in
go
the
ahead.
beginning, when I first got when my wife got me my PS5, because she put in the time for me, because it was supposed to be like a birthday slash
mhm,
Christmas gift.
mhm.
So she put in the work, like a lot of work. I mean, legit, like every hour checking the PS4, PS5, the PlayStation Network website to see if they dropped their batch for the every hour checking Walmart, Best Buy, having everything, fucking Twitter, fucking accounts that would give her warnings on what's being posted. I'm like, it was a lot of work for a few weeks, every single day, and she did it. So
Yeah.
when we actually got it and it came to the house and I was able to go, oh shit, I actually got one. You felt it was like a sensation unlike any other. It was almost a
Y'all
better sensation
remember
than
when
actually
I
playing
got
it.
my PS5 too? I texted you guys right away. I was just like I felt accomplished, like I really did something, and
Yeah.
my girlfriend is just looking at me like, okay.
Yo, shout out to Sober Guardian's wife. Let's all give her a round of applause for
Yeah, right.
going through that hell and back. Like, just she fucking deserves
She
it.
did. She was stressed. She was so stressed out. You have no idea. She goes, "I hate
Oh
this
my god.
position. I hate this fucking thing. I don't ever want to see this again. I can't believe this. And it's like I was this close. I was number 3 online, and then it fucking kicked me
Yeah.
out. I can't
Yeah.
believe it."
You'll have that shit in your cart and then it just won't process anymore. It pissed me off so many times. I used to tell Danny like, at least once a week, yo, I almost had it. I almost had it.
The best way was the PlayStation store, because they were the only ones at the time who got stopped the bots, and so at least you had a fair shot, and you heard, feedback from everybody who got one that day. At least it was real people actually getting it, so okay, it is possible. Just gotta be on board and figure out when the hell we're gonna, because they're not gonna announce when they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
But like, shit, it was Costco who was saying they're gonna have some at midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning, so she would stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning, or put her alarm to wake up to see if she can try to get one.
Yeah, there have been a
Just
couple
for them
times
to
at
get.
Amazon they had
Yeah.
stock posted up at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I used to get
Yeah.
mad because I wake up at 8 a.m. almost every day, and then find out like I could have gotten a PS5 4 hours ago.
Yeah, but then it was like
Yeah,
you
but you're
actually,
old and you
but
sleep early.
but then you were like,
Yeah, okay.
a lot of times, what will happen is either all the scalpers get it instantly, or it turns out to be false. Like Costco backed out because they don't have the bandwidth to support. Like they literally said they don't have the bandwidth to support the website
Yeah.
like that. Like people are gonna crash it instantly, so we can't do this. So we're just gonna back out of it. And even that was like you had to sign up for Costco card or all that bullshit. Like it was a
What the
lot
fuck kind of
lot in it.
toaster ass servers do they have?
Very.
Wow. They
I
fucking
mean,
sell
because on a
fucking
normal
compra.
day,
Like,
though, they can only hold a couple 100,000 or a couple
yeah, like
million. But you're talking like all at once. People are looking for this stuff, so it's gonna crash their systems.
yeah,
Mhm.
like
You're telling me that you could have your fucking customers pay like all this money for their membership. You could sell coffins on your fucking website, but you can't have a decent fucking server?
Well, the membership is
that's the
because of the
point.
products.
Like,
Yeah,
but
they
you could
don't
sell
have a giant
coffins on your
server
fucking
fucking thing.
website.
It's
You
not
could
to go to
sell
the
a million
cost
and one
of their
things.
IT department. It's the cost of the membership is so they can get your products so cheap and in bulk.
Yeah, from the Chinese kids overseas.
Making your TV and your coffin.
Exactly. It's true.
All right, so we're gonna move on. But sticking with the Sony news, actually, this is the extra article that I want to talk about that I didn't, all I put is literally 4 words on this outline. Is Sony stores are back online. So I found out this morning, and I sent the text to Danny and his cousin Adam, talking about the fact that Sony has reversed their decision to close down the Vita and PS3 stores because of so many pissed off people talking about, I want to be able to still buy old games. I still want to be able to play my retro games. If you, God damn, you calling a PS3 system retro games, that's fucking crazy for me. But people still want to play them. People still want to have them available, and it's all about the game preservation also. So, what do you guys think about them reversing the whole decision?
It'll last a year, and then I'll go back and
You
the
think
No,
they're
they're
gonna-
they're just doing it again.
when they realize that it's. I mean, it depends on the cost. If it costs them the money to keep these servers on and the servers
Yeah,
activated,
of
and they
course.
can't actually port them over, then and nobody's buying any of it, then why keep it open?
Nah,
Yeah, people will bitch.
I disagree
Now,
because
I think
Sony's selling the most systems, so I disagree with the money situation. They're good. They're
yeah.
the top selling system. I don't want to hear that.
Well, regardless of the top selling, it's all about if something's not making money, then why,
Yeah,
you
I
don't
agree.
So,
you don't
why do
stay
you think
rich
they
by
did it now,
doing dumb
though? Do you
shit.
think they just made a bunch of money with people buying the new, like, not new games, buying a bunch of old games before the store shut down or something? Like, I think it was Adam who
I
said it.
think I think that's part of it. Like people thought the store was going to shut down, so people bought as much as they could, and now they're like, wait, because people are buying, we're going to have to come up with a firmware update so that they can play their games offline.
It's just like you
or
said. Maybe they'll
play it
just
when
start
it's
selling
not
that
hooked
stuff on
up.
the PS5 store.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and they will, and I feel like that's going to be part of it. They're going
Hmm.
to end up combining some of that, and at least if you want to play, you can play it on a PS5 type of thing if you
Mm-hmm.
have it. So,
Randy,
and it's been another
you
reason to
better
try
not
to
be hunting
play
over
to want to
there.
play the system.
God, I'm here.
Okay.
My God.
Where are you? Wake up,
Jesus.
samurai.
See, it's a good thing I don't have a camera, because then you'll like see me staring off into space.
What do you think?
Um, I I think they're fucking cowards. That's what I think.
What do you mean?
But no, I'm fucking with you. No,
Okay.
it's actually pretty good that they're going back on that, because now that fear of like price hikes and shit of people being like, hey, you want the physical copy, now it's a collector's item because it's no longer digital. That's gone, so it's good. It would have been really fucking stupid to get rid of those games, because
Yep.
from a personal standpoint, and this is very like subjective, um, seeing how I don't really like most of the fucking games that are like coming out now, I'd much rather play a game from like the PS3 era or for the Vita, if anything. Like
What PS3 games were any good? I mean, but I feel like I don't
Metal Gear
honestly
Solid
remember any.
4. How
Yeah,
about
but
Pain?
I was just gonna say a lot of
Four was
those
good.
games, there were a lot of good games for the PS3, but they were towards the end point of its life cycle is when they
Mm-hmm.
really,
Yeah,
because it took a long time for developers to figure out how to program for that damn system because it was very
yeah, they
complicated.
did not. They had no clue how to make games for the system, so
Yeah.
a lot of them developers gave up and just went to Xbox. I
Mhm.
remember hearing a story about that. Like they had no idea what to do, and it wasn't towards the end. This is why the PS4 is
I
just
think
an
it was
upgraded
the
version of
cell
PS3.
processor that they used. I think that was the issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the thing is like I don't really remember that many great games on the PS3. You
Yeah.
know, and
Well, because what
I
was going
mean,
to be
yeah, it's
taken off?
close.
The PS3, Vita, and there was a third one, wasn't
Something
there?
else. There was a thing I can't remember what it was.
No,
The
that
PSP.
was PSP. PSP. Yeah. Sorry, Vita,
Yeah.
PSP, and PS3.
Yeah, even then, like,
They
even if I didn't play shit for fucking PS3, like, there was still a lot of really amazing stuff on the PSP.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think the PSP and the Vita both had some things that were maybe not so much, but still the PSP definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think it's just the concept of people bought these games, they want to keep playing them. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think part of it was that you can't play this game if it's not online.
Yep.
And if you can't play the game that you bought, then it's kind of messed up. So I think they did need to come up with some kind of firmware to like, yeah, you can play your games offline if you want, have fun.
Yeah.
Unless you can't do multiplayer, but whatever. Um, and this probably you never know. They'll probably come up with that and then get rid of it. Get rid of it after.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I'm happy that they like called it
Yep.
back.
Same here. And
But
it's good.
all in
It's
all, like,
good
if they
to.
get rid of it later on, then yeah. But for some reason, th- this might sound stupid, but I feel like it would be definitely too soon to like pull that back.
Yeah.
Like, give it some more time, and then
Hmm.
So I have a question for everybody, and I know you guys probably do more than me, of course. But when was the last time you actually played a PSP game? Like, or hell, fuck PS3 game, or any of the games that they're actually
I
bitching
plugged
about?
in my Vita like 2 weeks ago. Like I charged my Vita
Is
like
it
2 weeks
because
ago.
it's you charged your Vita? That doesn't
No,
mean you played
meaning
anything.
like I turned it on and I actually played stuff on it. Like because my
Uh,
Vita had
uh,
been in storage for a very long time, and I was hooking up
yeah,
my
but you did it
Genesis
before
Classic
because of that. Did you do it because of that article, or did you just do it?
when it was closing down. No, it wasn't because of that. I don't think I knew about the article until afterwards.
Oh, okay. Because I feel like they're complaining about like a lot of people are just complaining about it because it's one of those things where like, well, I pay for it, I should be able to play it, even though I'm not gonna fucking play it ever.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
have so much shit that I want to do,
yeah.
and kind of feel like people just want to bitch to bitch
I mean, granted
because they seem like
though,
they're taking away.
granted I like when I turned on the Vita and I played because I have a bunch of like classic, not only just PSP games but classic stuff like Chrono Trigger, Parasite Eve, Resident
Yeah,
Evil. So when I turned it on, I played for a little bit of everything, even Xenogears I got on there. But I played a little bit of everything, and I was just like, okay, I'm done. And then I kind of just moved on because, like, as you know, like for us, we play a lot of games, and I don't got time to be just
Well,
holding on to
that's
retro
kind of
games.
my point is like
Yeah,
getting people to making this big deal about it, but ultimately you're not gonna just there's no like Dragon Ball or Kingdom Hearts game that on those other consoles that you can be like I have to play it on this console this way no matter what because this is my life now.
Mhm.
yeah,
So why make such a big deal about it? I mean, it's really if you told me they got rid of all that shit, I'd be like, oh, that sucks. I'll keep playing my PS5. I don't really care. But it's because I'm a little different because I don't really. The nostalgia factor for me is just like you said with the PS. Like you play it just to say you played it. Just, oh, I remember Xenogears and all
yeah.
these games. That was fun. Okay, but then you'll never think about them another 4 or 5 years.
The way I also look at it too, because I agree with you on that, is that the way that I see it is that I always stick with the latest consoles because that's what's new, that's what's out, that's what my focus is on. But if there just so happens to be an easy way for me to get a hold of these retro games, for example, like the PS1 Classic or the NES Classic and all that stuff, of course I'm going to take advantage and try to get this stuff. But it doesn't bother me whatsoever that I lost the PlayStation Network and now I can't buy my old games anymore. Like
Because
sometime in the future, there will be some sort of opportunity to try to get a hold of those games again.
A
it's like,
PS3 mini.
but
Yeah,
like every one of these, like you said, like the mini, yeah, that's a great example. They're not making fucking Nintendo cartridges anymore. They're not making CDs anymore.
yeah,
So why not bitch about that? Like it's the same concept.
yeah.
Getting stopping these things from is just like saying I'm gonna stop these CDs from being made. Same as that concept. I mean, if you have it, you have it. You don't, you don't. It
Yeah.
is what it is. But again, the only thing is that the only difference between the cartridge and obviously the networks is if you literally can't plug in this thing to play it because you can't play it online. It has to be only be played online, which is the only downfall. Which is
Kevin,
what I keep saying that they need to get rid of that.
do you have something to say, Kevin?
Yeah, so the reason I feel like like so attached to this the P3 thing is because most of the games is online. But to counter what Danny said, the reason that I feel like so gun hole about it is because, for example, not saying that they're going to do this. Let's say, for example, like this year is the P3, right? They actually cut it off. In 2 years, it's the P4, the P4. So it's like they start cutting off systems. So it's like that's why I'm like I feel a way about it. Even though like of course you can get a hold of the games. That's not what we're complaining about. It's that the idea that if they're doing this for the P3, when is it going to be the P4? And then it's like you have to keep up with the systems, or you won't be able to play with like your friends or whatever because they cut the network or whatever off because Sony decided to do that.
You
So
saying
it's
that's
one.
what bothers you?
Yeah, that's mainly what bothers me about it because it's not the fact of playing the game; it's the idea of you have to keep up with the times, or
Yeah,
you'll be left behind,
you
and you
do.
won't be,
But
It's a
and
piece
you
of
won't.
yes, but you,
electronic.
but
Things are always going to be obsolete.
yes, but the PS4 that's not a really good point because PS4 you can't just say I'm not going to make any PS4 games. There's no way to get rid of it because the PS5 plays PS4s.
Hmm.
You can literally pop in a PS4 disc, except for, grant there's like maybe a handful, 5 games you can't.
Yeah,
But still, you almost every other game you can pop into the PS5 and play it. So you can't have that. It's impossible to have that them take it away now in 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is.
but the games,
Now
but the
PS7 comes out,
mhm.
and then PS7 comes out, and then they decide to get rid of PS4. It's going to be like, well, are you really playing the PS4 games?
So Danny,
Uh,
although I agree with you on that, there is a catch. The thing is that when you can play PS5, sorry, you can play PS4 games on your PS5, but it's also a select amount of them. You can't just play anything. So when you lose the PlayStation 4 network, for example, like let's say for example 2 3 years, you won't be able to buy everything or anything that you wanted. It's only select things that a
but
company decide for you to play.
it's not just select. They announced the whole list of PS4 games that can play on it, and it literally is like maybe 10 games at the most that PS4 games that you can't play on the PS5. So every other game is you're able to. You can plug it in a
Okay,
disc,
but
or you can
that
download
is
it,
that is
or
my
if you have it
point.
digitally already.
So
But
now those people can't play those 10 games.
those 10 games, like if you look at the list of the 10 games are really bad fucking games that
Well,
nobody's
that's
gonna
not
play
up for you to
anyway.
decide, though. That's a decision for
But no,
anybody to
no.
make, not just for you.
Look,
I
But
know
I
it's not
want
going
to
to bother
play
but they
Knack
you.
2. I'm gonna fucking play
but
Knack 2 on my PlayStation 5. God damn it!
exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's different when you're talking about games like Metal Gear. You get rid of Metal Gear 4 because that was on the PS3 and not even longer. It's different when you're talking about games like that and you're talking about games that you can't play. Majority of the PS4 games you can play right now, so you're not having that issue. Now, again, when the PS7 comes out and they decide to get rid of all the fucking PlayStation 4 or 5 games, you're not really going to have that big of a deal because it's going to be like, well, you got rid of Nintendo. Oh, fuck, that sucks. I'm never actually going to fucking play Mario anyway. But, I'm not going to plug in my fucking Nintendo to play Mario. So it doesn't matter. Like, you're not going to go back that far.
That's a matter of
Because there
opinion
are,
because I might want
It
to.
is.
and no, you just said it yourself. You just said it yourself that there are
Regardless,
so
I
many,
I
there
want
are
the
so
option
many
to be
games.
able to go back if I wanted to. And
But the, but
I'm not saying for myself. I'm just saying I'm speaking from other people's perspectives that there are some people who want to go back and play those games.
yeah, but then again, it's the same point of I want to go back and play Chrono Trigger, but I can't fucking go back and play Chrono Trigger because I can't buy it anywhere.
Yeah.
Like you can always complain and bitch about stuff like that, but it's what happens. Eventually, they have to stop. It's just not. They can't just have everything go on forever. It's not possible.
Yeah, I know I get that.
This is the way everything this is where life works. Eventually, these systems are gonna
I
no longer be made, no longer have to be and that's why they're called retro games.
the
You know,
conversation that we were having to text messages, like me, Danny, and his cousin, we were chatting on it, and one of the point that I was making was that everything becomes obsolete. Eventually, like just as Danny's saying, you're just gonna have to deal with it because everything is gonna go away at some point. That's life. That's how you grow up, and you're gonna lose things. But one of the points that I was saying was that it shouldn't have to be up to Sony to keep up with this stuff or this demand of retro gaming and stuff. There are other organizations and companies and all that stuff that can offer those types of services. You know what I mean? To try to like bring in those retro gaming. It doesn't have to be Sony to bring back the PSN or bring back retro gaming or anything like that. Other people can do it in some sort of way, whether it be emulation, they build their own system,
yeah,
a rental service. Who I don't know. I'm throwing a bunch of shit out there, but it doesn't have to be Sony and Microsoft worrying about these issues. They're trying to look to the future to try to like make that money. You know?
yeah, and if that's the case, again, you can't complain about PlayStation wanting to get rid of their PSN because it's eventually gonna happen, and you should be happy they even fucking announced it. Like they could have just did it, and you'd have been like, "Oh,
Yeah.
well,
I mean, that is
what you
true.
gonna do about it?"
Yeah.
Like we have all the right in the world to do whatever the fuck we want. It's our system,
Mhm.
Okay.
So, but they didn't,
Me and Danny are talking a lot. You guys have anything to say about it?
I don't know. I just don't like the idea, and it's not for the premise of it being like it's mainly because the titles that they have for the P3 is very limited to the P4. So it's like going from console to console. It's like the games that I want on the systems, they're not on the system. It's like what Danny said, the 10 games that nobody cares about is like the 10 games that I played on the console and I expected. So it's like if they're just gonna do that for every system, it's like a whatever kind of feeling. I'm not
It
gonna
just
say I don't.
sucks.
It just sucks because
Yeah,
it's like you
but
want to play. Uh-huh.
you played, yes, you did play them in the past, but are you playing them? That's the big thing.
How would I be able to play them? I can play them. It's not. I'm not saying I can't. It's just if the P4 games are getting so much, I would say gog on the P5, well, as Randy would say. Why didn't the P3 get the same love on the P4? Like the games that they were so like not the Metal Gear Solids, not the Left 4. I mean the not the
Mhm.
what the fuck is it? Life is Strange. All the games that they were focusing so much on, the games that people actively play now because they can't play it on the P4, like the Persona fighting game that nobody talks about or whatever. Like there's a whole community for that, and nobody can play those games on the P4. Like the games that they focus on are not the games that I care about. The games that they focus on are the ones that is just for everyone and not
The ones
it's
that don't
for
make money.
yeah, a selected few, but not for everyone. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing that I have an issue with. Because if they're doing it for the P4 to P5, like what happens in the P7, I won't get like fucking not even like bitching and moaning about it. It's more like a like I won't get fighters, for example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're just like, oh, we have the newer version of whatever. It's one of those things that I'm always concerned about. Of
When did when the original fighters come out?
2018?
18?
No,
Yeah.
let me see. Let me see.
What,
Randy,
Dragon
while
Ball
he's
FighterZ?
looking it up,
Yeah.
do you have anything to say about this conversation?
I like that
No,
it
yeah,
stemmed-
2018.
Hmm.
God damn, all up in my fucking ear. I like that it stemmed from like the question of like if we plugged in the PSP or PlayStation Vita or whatever the case.
Mhm.
I actually still fucking play on my PSP, and I'm willing to like go buy some more games for it that like I wanted to play before. Uh, but I, mm, I don't know. It's always gonna happen where like you're gonna have your select few of shit that like you're not gonna be able to play, and as shitty as it is, it's very I don't know how to put it. You gotta expect it even though you don't want it
Yeah,
to happen.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely true. And it
Or
sucks.
or hear
Oh,
me out, just like
uh,
take good care of your consoles so that you could still play the games that you want to play on the
you
original consoles.
you definitely can. You
Yeah.
definitely.
And one of the things about the original article that stemmed the conversation between my cousin and Danny was the fact that the CMOS batteries in the PS5 has a 5 to 10 year
Yeah.
lifespan,
It
and
has the what?
that was a very CMOS battery.
Yeah, this is an article I wanted to add on here, and I kind of felt like we'd be talking forever about it, but we can still talk about it because we actually are ahead on time. But yeah, so AGN had announced that Sony, their technology, they use CMOS batteries. You know CMOS batteries, like these little batteries that are in like your computers or laptops, for example. They help keep the system time. They
That's all it
have
does. Keep the
that's all it
system time
does. So, but they
because
have
everything is
implemented
linked
them.
up to the time.
Yeah.
It has to know what time and day it is, so that for you
So,
everything to
so,
fully
so
process and
these,
be up to date. So when the console turns off,
yeah.
so it
So the
has a
CMOS
battery that's
batteries are
always
in
running
these.
and gets charged while you have it on.
So the thing is that
Theoretically,
the lifespan on these things are about 10 years, let's say, give or take, whatever. So can you imagine what happens when you have a PS3 with a dead CMOS battery? Now you can't play any of your digital games because it's
Eh,
not reading the PSN, talking to your games to verify that you purchased the game. So now you can't play them.
yeah, it basically says it doesn't know what it has no time, no day stamp in your system now. So
Yeah.
therefore, things that you are not online because you're
Mhm.
not actually there because there is no timestamp. So it does correlate. So it does not allow you to play any games. So and what Randall was saying with the with the
fuck
keeping
you,
good
God.
care. Sorry, Randy was saying with keeping good care of your system, you can keep as good as care you want, but it's not a lifespan.
Eventually it's going to die.
Yeah.
Eventually, you can die. There's nothing to do. But when it's easier, but part of the concept is that it's much easier. It's a battery. It looks like a watch battery. Literally looks like a big watch battery inside
Yeah.
your console, so you can just pop it out and put in a new one. But the PS5 and the way the shell is and all that, the
It makes it
console is
difficult
a
to
lot
replace it.
harder. The same way, how iPhones back in the day. Everybody used, your phone used to die. Your phone used to freeze. You just take your battery out and plug it back in. And then iPhone had the smart idea to put this giant fucking shell on it.
And
You
glue
need
that shit in.
fucking solder and iron. Yeah, you need the
Yeah.
goddamn solder iron to put it back together. So
Gotta break your phone to change the battery.
Yep.
What kind of nonsense?
yeah,
The future is
so
now.
Right? Look. Where the fuck? Where am I supposed to see that?
so that's how the PS5 is designed right now, and and maybe even the Xbox. I don't know how the
No, it's not
Xbox is.
actually. It's a Sony thing. That's the
No,
problem.
yeah,
So
and it's
so my only concern would be, as let's say for example, for like obviously it's not going to be example, it's going to be the future. So let's say later on, and like we're going back to the P7, you know, that old system that's probably going to be new when we're done talking about it.
No.
Do you think it's going to be more difficult to get to the battery, and they're going to do like, let's say the iPhone move of making it almost impossible to replace it or change it, and then you just have to buy a completely new controller or something like that, since it's happening now with like the P5 controller, if I'm not mistaken.
What do you mean with the
But yeah,
controller?
Uh,
well, the controller's breaking. The
yeah,
controller's breaking.
yeah, like the controller breaking, or like if you have to replace a part, like especially the battery. What do you think they're going to make it more difficult to replace
Oh,
parts? Yeah,
oh
replace parts
yeah,
for it.
oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why they. That's why people come up with the seat port and
That's why
all
there's
these
third
fucking
party
crazy.
companies too that make peripherals and things too, just to make them cheaper and easy for you to get.
Hmm.
I'm actually
I
gonna,
mean,
Remember Mad Cats?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
good
Mad Cats was a
times.
big thing. They always sold their shit like half price, and I
yeah.
mean they probably
And
lasted
also
half as
half
long too,
quality.
though. Yeah, yeah, I do remember that.
But I think eventually, yeah, I do think that they will go into that model of we don't want you to open our system, so we're gonna solder it, make it harder, make it a giant vault because we don't want you opening it up, hacking it, and getting because that's what they're worried about a lot of the
Yeah,
time is
yeah,
opening it up, stealing that technology, not stealing, but like hacking the technology and them now having to come up with a fucking firmware update every week for it to stop it, like the way Xbox does.
Yeah,
You know, whenever there's a great game that comes out, they do a bigger update that has a bandwidth attached to it.
mm-hmm.
So like they are going to try to prevent that as best as they can. And granted, they're not always going to be using the CMOS battery. They'll maybe learn their lesson, or maybe not.
maybe
And
not.
it could be part of their plan of, you know, their system finally died. Oh, maybe we got to get the new one, which is not a bad idea. I mean, I feel like iPhones do the same thing. Oh, we updated. We updated the phone, so now you can't use it because you doesn't take it takes too much
It's
power
it's
to
still about
use
them
our new
making a
firmware. You might
profit.
as well get a new one. Yeah, it's all
Mm-hmm.
about making money. I mean, look, our plug. You need a special plug. You have to buy only from PlayStation now. Like they're all gonna keep doing it.
Freaking iPhones don't even come with the plug-in brick anymore. Like it just comes with the
Oh
fucking
yeah, they don't.
USB cable charger. Like
Oh, that was fucking heartbreaking when I saw that.
and then no head. So you got no headphone port. You got no charger. Just
No
a data
headphones.
cable. You no headphones. Nothing. It's ridiculous. So you're saying, Danny, once the PS10 comes out, we're gonna have to buy the controller separately. It's
Yeah.
not even gonna come with a controller. That's what's gonna
Not
happen.
even.
You never.
Not gonna,
Oh,
why-
you really don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, I think obviously a controller and a console is always, but there
Because
are like the play.
remember back in the day though, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, you used to buy the system and it at least came with a game.
Yeah,
And
it
now you
used to
don't
come
even
with
get
one
that
game.
anymore.
Well,
No, you do. It's a
you
bundle.
still with the bundles. You still have the
Yeah,
bundles. They
it's
still have
No,
them.
bundles is different because you're putting extra money. You're buying the base console at retail price, and it still came with a game back then in the '90s.
But again, that was to. That's because they needed to do that to promote its
Yeah,
system.
yeah, of
You
course,
can't
of
just
course.
have
No, I get it.
this
I
thing that
just think
doesn't
it's
work with no
funny
games. Now you don't
because
need it.
we're slowly losing like products the more we buy these more expensive consoles.
Well, they are. I mean, they used to come with a headset too.
Now we don't even get a freaking
Oh right.
user. We don't get user manuals anymore. Like
Figure it
they
out.
stopped
Yeah,
making those. They just figure it out. Put a game tutorial right in the beginning. Like fuck paper.
that's true.
A tutorial for the console, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
I had a fucking what was it? Sega. What's the Sega? The one you plugged the Sega 32X. That's what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
I had the Sega 32X, and my father bought it from like a flea market type thing. We got it at home, tried to install it, the whole nine, because everything was fucking going nuts. The fucking thing would not turn on. Could not figure it out. It was because of the fucking switch in the back of the goddamn console that had to link up to the 10-channel unit. It was like the stupidest thing.
Oh, that's funny. All right, guys, we're gonna move on to the final piece, which is sorry, my fucking memory is bad because somebody mentioned that the Konami game, that they announced a new game finally that's coming out, and it is a old Nintendo, I believe, remake. And so I'm gonna play that right now on the Twitch stream.
Yeah, it was for the NES.
NES, yeah. Let's do this. Hopefully it'll actually show up
Ooh.
and actually play this time.
Ooh.
They played last time. They
Yeah.
played like a Netflix TV show.
We didn't buffer properly last
That callback.
Dude, what was even that video that we played there? That was sick.
Can't really hear you because of the trailer.
Fucking use the mute button. God damn it.
Yo, in my ear. I was looking around like you guys were talking. I was like, I had to take the headphone off. I'm like, what? What?
All right. So that was the trailer there. Hope it came out pretty smooth on the stream. Yeah, so I was not very impressed or excited about this. Like in the initial part of the trailer, because I was expecting like Silent Hills or something actually cooler. But then when it got to like the boss battles look actually pretty cool and fun. So that was my take on it. What did you guys think of the trailer? Danny, you asking me something too?
What was the name of that Wii game on the closet? The side-scrolling game?
That what?
The Wii game where you kept talking to that guy in the closet and he kept asking questions and had all the fucking dialogue. Ninja scroll type fucking thing. Ninja was holding the scroll in his hand.
On the Switch?
Yeah.
You said we. Oh,
Same fucking.
it's really not. The Messenger.
Messenger. That's what
Yeah.
it reminded me of a little bit. Like
Okay.
that whole concept of the messenger. You know, like I feel like these games are easier to make than a crazy Silent Hill,
Yeah.
and they'll make, you know, you can have a small developer company, you know, small group of the development team work on it. I think it's more advanced with the move sets and the boss battles and more into that. But at the end of the game, at the end of the day, it's just a simple 2D, you know, side-scrolling game
Yeah. Yeah.
that is very basic, and they've been done a million times. So because of that reason, I have a problem with it because this is nothing innovative to me. I mean, there's that one, and there was another one we played on the Switch. That was just like, you know, it's like the Dark Souls version of it, like a hard version of it. Like they're all kind of like that. They're all almost the same. You know, feel like you're playing the same game almost. And for me, I don't have that big of attention span for those games.
Yeah. Yeah. Randy, what do you think?
First off, The Messenger is a hell of a game because it's long as shit for no reason.
Yeah, I loved it.
I like the Messenger because of the dialogue. Like I literally watched.
It's funny.
We were
Yeah.
played it here. It was the
Aside
dialogue was
from,
great.
The whole 8-bit, 16-bit kind of thing that they do with the game,
Hmm.
it's really, or 1632, whatever the fuck. It's really, really cool. but that's like sidetracking. Um, Watching the trailer of this game, it was very clunky. It looks really nice, granted, like the art style with that like hand painted 2D, 3D kind of look to it.
Hmm.
Um, it did look a bit like what the fuck is it? Bloodstained? Was it?
I guess.
I can give
I
you a
mean,
better
I got more of an Okami feel with the watercolors and stuff.
Like a mix of the both. But the
Yeah.
thing is I art style, yes, but movement style, it felt like it was still trying to replicate that of the NES. Like it looked very
Um.
bricky to me.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I
Okay.
said. It's very simple 2D. Like that's the problem I have with it. It's the same problem he has. It's a very simple game. Nothing too extravagant about it. If you take away all the glamour and the glitz and the beautiful animation and stuff like that, it's very simple and I don't know.
Because like, what is it? Even when I was playing Sakuna, that too also does have like its 2D like side scrolling kind of thing. The art style still very pretty, but the animations like for the fighting and shit, they all felt very fluid. This felt like he was like punch, punch, like some Streets of Rage type
Super
shit.
stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So watching that, I was kind of like, okay. So instead of trying to not only make the game prettier visually but also mechanically, they just wanted to do like, hey, it's the same game from the fucking NES, just nice looking.
They just need Kojima back. That's it.
That's the only issue with Konami.
I think they need
Kevin.
Kojima to go to movies, but
uh I was watching the trailer and it kind of gave me a feel of Muramasa.
Yeah, I remember
Uh,
that. That's a good one.
so I was looking at it and I was like, oh, it looks cool, and then it made me want to play the game. So now I'm looking for the game like a maniac. Um, yeah, with Randy said, it looks stiff, like very stiff. I hope that it looks a little bit more fluent. It looks like I would say Bloodstain has that problem too, that it looks very stiff when they do certain attacks. It's not as fluent.
Yeah,
Like but all in all, it's okay. I've never played it. Um but I guess it just opened up my passion to play another game. So I was like, thank you.
that's funny. Yeah, yeah,
That's
I
kind of
really
funny
like
though.
that
How
game.
like
Hmm?
I said
Muramasa, I
it's really
really like that game. Oh, go ahead, Randy.
notice that it's funny how like seeing the trailer didn't inspire him to get the game that they're advertising, but play something else
Play
entirely.
something else, something similar and plays better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I
it's
wouldn't
also
play
really
that game.
pretty visually, right?
Say what?
Hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, that the game looks really nice too.
Yes.
Muramasa?
Or Monster Demon
Oh
Hunter.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
watercolor style. It plays very smooth. It's somewhat long. It's like worth the length.
Yeah.
Hey
Yeah,
yo.
And
it's
it's
really
and
good.
it's all and it was also on the Vita. That's a callback. Just wanted to let you guys
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
It wasn't as, I guess, popular, but I found the game for like I think $12, and I was like, whoa,
No,
this is fucking
yeah,
amazing.
it had a good buzz for like a week or two or three, maybe even, but then afterwards it just moved on. It was the same thing with
Mhm.
like Dragon's Crown. Like that was a big deal when it
Mhm.
came out on Vita.
Dragon's Crown. Oh my
Yeah,
fucking god, I
it
played that too.
it was like 3 weeks of buzz, and then it kind of just went away.
Man, that was a good game. There was another game compared to, what was it, to this one, and I forgot the name of it. It's the same. It's pretty much the same art, close to the same art style. The game came out sooner. What was the name of that game? Is it? Is it Odin Sapphire?
Oh,
I
that
think
doesn't
that's
ring a bell.
no.
Odin
It's because
Sphere.
Odin Sphere.
Odin
There we go. I
Sphere.
said Sapphire.
Yeah.
That's the game I played. I played Muramasa, and then I played Odin Sphere, and I was
Okay.
in love with it. I think I fell in love with the art style.
Yeah.
And the progression killed me because I didn't know where I was going.
Uh,
Let me see if I can.
all right, where you checking on that? We're gonna move on. Yeah, we're moving on. The community question. We're gonna do that first before we play our guess the game. What was it, Danny? Danny, it was your community question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, what were the 3 worst video games you've ever played? And since Danny asked your question, you want to go first?
Um, when I was first looking at it, I was like when I first put the thought in my head of that question, the first game that popped in my head was Superman 64
Oh,
Yeah.
because we had talked about it and how
Yeah.
bad it was. But when I was going down the rabbit hole to
You
figure
bought
out
that game, right?
free,
Or did we rent it?
no, I rented it from
Okay.
Blockbuster. Thank fucking God. I went down the rabbit hole of games that I
So
thought
how
were
quickly he
worse than
denied it?
that. And as we saw that CDI, they had the Zelda and the fucking Hotel Mario. For some reason, they wanted to all look like that fucking weird Adventure Time or Rocko's Modern Life. I don't know what the fuck it was.
mhm.
Games, but by the three worst games that I think I've ever played, the first one has to be Batman Dark Tomorrow
Oh, that was
because
bad.
Oh,
it had
That was
the
bad.
worst. I remember playing on the Xbox for free though, so just fine. I had bootlegged at that time.
yeah.
Um, it had the worst camera in any game I've ever played in my life. Like they talk about a lot of games not having bad camera. This had the worst. You would constantly be looking at like a brick wall, or you'd be looking at a box while trying to fight. And then if you move over, you would turn to see another fucking brick wall instead of seeing the fucking. It was the worst camera angle ever in a game, period. Along with the game just not being playable. And it was weird how a game like that can be. We talk about cyberpunk like that, but nobody made the. Oh, it probably wasn't popular then, but still, that was like the hands down the worst game I've ever played. And then after that, before that, I always found it funny how they like to make these. So that's my number three game. The number two, I always find it funny how they love to make games out of movies, right?
Yeah.
And those always bomb, and vice versa, right? But the worst one had to have been the Street Fighter the movie, a video game, because it
Oh,
was almost like a fucking joke. And it was only arcade. And I remember playing it arcade like, this can't be real. This can't be
Yeah.
real. What is this? And in Chinatown Fair, I remember playing it there and like, what is this? Is this real? Oh my God, is this like a bootleg system for this? And then later on, like much later, talking about it, I'm like, oh my God, they really made a Street Fighter video game movie out of a movie that was really
And that
fucking
was an
bad.
actual title, which is just as funny.
Yes, yeah, Street Fighter
Street
the
Fighter the
movie.
movie, the video game.
And then my number one worst game, most disappointing, Death Strand. Boom, done.
Oh, you serious? Death Stranding.
Pizza Boy, the video
Yo, Danny
game.
just got shot.
he came to play.
I
Okay.
completely understand, and I also completely disagree, but okay.
No, fuck that. That is the most disappointing game I've ever played in my life. I have never been so disappointed in a game since
That's funny.
since fucking Superman 64. Pizza Boy, the game. Okay, those are my three.
Pizza
Oh,
boy.
jeez. All right, Randy, you've been mighty quiet today. You go.
I think it's because I haven't been drinking that much.
Yeah,
But anyways, let's see. Three would have to be honestly Dissidia NT, the Final Fantasy fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That was
Oh
for
yeah,
console.
that was
No, because here's the thing: Dissidia 1 for the PSP was really fucking good.
awesome.
The
Yeah.
mechanics were incredible. Every single
That's
character
it
felt
was a
like
little
really
more.
unique.
That was the one that was a little more blocky, right? But it was still like
Blocky.
like
That shit felt so fluid. Oh my
it
god.
wasn't really blocky. Yeah, it was a little better.
No, it was
But
incredible because NT sucked. You still had the same
yeah, it
roster,
was so
but
bad.
the saddening part was that they broke Cecil into two characters, kind of. So you have either White Knight or Dark Knight, but
Yeah,
everything about it just didn't feel the same. They tried a little too hard to make it into something else, like
Yeah.
because original. Okay, yeah, kind of granted it was an arena fighter, but by making it kind of like a 3v3 sort of ordeal, it changed a lot. The maps are pretty stagnant. They're very, very empty. And this is coming from Dissidia, where it had a thing that was literally a void with pieces of rock just floating in the sky.
it
Mm.
But Dissidia 1 was way better, and what they did with the
was.
series is heartbreaking.
Hey, you are right. I remember playing that, downloading, but being excited about it. And my mother's house trying to play this game. I'm gonna master this, and then I'm like, I can't play this fucking game. This is bad.
Yeah. Because it's like, how do you make playing as Jecht, not fun.
Yeah.
Jecht from fucking 10. This
Yeah.
fucking Broska, not fun. Um, Another one I would throw
That
into
was your
the
third
ring.
one? That was your third one,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah. Another one I throw into the ring would be this is in no particular order, by the way. They're
Yeah.
just like all pretty shit. Metal Gear Acid, as we've discussed before.
Was it the card game?
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
card
Yeah.
game for the PSP. Horrid with unreasonably buff Snake.
Yeah.
Just like there's Solid is jacked, and then there's Metal Gear Acid Solid Snake jacked.
I bought that game with a lot of hesitance only because I was a Metal Gear fan and I was not disappointed to be disappointed. So like I was not surprised how bad it was too.
Bro, Chain of Memories was a better
I
card
was.
game than fucking than
Yeah.
Acid.
That was really bad. I think I played Danny's version. I was
Yeah.
like, what is this?
Yeah.
And you were like, I think you were trying to make it like, no, it's good. I'm telling you.
I
I'm
was
like,
trying to convince
"Oh."
myself.
Like, yeah, like you were, and then I'm like, oh,
He was lying to
no.
both you and himself.
You keep having that.
I got through maybe half the game and I fell through with that. But what's
Made it way farther than I did.
what's your first one?
first one? That I would have to go with like something. I wouldn't say recent. I guess I don't know. It from a subjective standpoint, I guess it would just be the Uncharted series. That's just
Really?
me. Yeah, because again, it's you know how I don't like very cookie cutter games. The
Yeah.
whole series is just the same game times 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like the
You know,
characters don't really evolve, so it's just quip, quip, quip. Nathan Drake with the bad hair and fucking what the hell was his name?
Sully?
Sully. I almost said Boosie for some reason.
Okay. Okay. That's a
See, I
good
don't.
game.
I don't
That's a
care
completely
for
different
this.
game.
No, but it's just like it's so flat as a game and as characters, and I mean everyone could like the game. That again, it's totally subjective, but I don't know if it
I
actually
kind of,
evolved, then
I
sure.
never, I've never played the series because whenever I've seen footage or anything from any of the games, I never knew which part was which because they all look the same. So
And
I
that's
100% agree with you. 100% agree with that. Like I couldn't believe they made 4 games and they look exactly the fucking same as the first one. Like, and I could never see the appeal in that because I'm like, this is not a new game. They didn't do anything new or fresh or anything. Like, so what's the point?
because yeah, even if there is a story to it and they do explain it as you play the game, if you were to show any footage from anything, you'd be like, oh, this is the second one, right? No, it's the fourth. Oh, this is the
Yeah.
third one, right? No, it's the first.
Yeah, you would have no idea. I agree. I really agree with that.
You played
Although
one, you literally
I
played them
feel
all.
I feel attacked because I enjoyed them, but
No, again, and that's I know that you like them, but that's also why I
yeah.
did make it a point to say it's
But
totally subjective.
But
That's just
the funny
you know,
thing is that I still do agree with you though. Like it is very cookie cutter and it's very much the same formula every game except slightly better graphic. That's about it.
shinier hair
But
texture on
yeah,
Drake.
Yeah, exactly.
but the thing is that my argument as to why I enjoy it is the same reason why I enjoy going to see certain movies. Like there are those times where you just want those mindless action movie with like no thoughts, no character development, no nothing. Like Kong versus Godzilla, for example. You just want to see two fucking
Oh, that was
monsters fighting.
horrible.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
saying like it's just in general. Though.
Did
Like
you
you
see
just
it?
want to. You just it was
It
okay.
didn't happen. The last like fucking 15, 20 minutes they finally fought. The movie was horrible.
Well, no, they fought twice, but
Exactly.
But the thing
They
is,
fought 2 times. They fought 2
regardless,
times in the entire
spoilers,
movie.
no
That's big
spoilers on the
cover
movie,
cut.
no spoilers on the movie though.
What spoilers? They
Um,
fight. Not too much.
But regardless, what my point is like
I'm outta here.
it's the same thing. It's
outta
the same
here.
thing with the it's the same thing with the Fast and the Furious movies. Like they get more and more ridiculous, but a lot of people enjoy. I enjoy watching them because they're so fucking over the top and stupid. And
Yes, but those
want I
change.
want my brain to turn off and just enjoy the action. So that was the same concept with Uncharted. I just want to play a fucking action movie. That's it, and that's
no
why I
thoughts,
enjoyed
head
it.
empty.
Yeah, yeah. And it's
But-
very easy because the
Brain
platforming's
food.
stupid easy. Like it does most of the job for you. So it's like there's barely any like actual thinking when you're platforming in the game, and then the action is fairly easy. The AI is stupid. So you can take cover. You don't even have to take cover for the most part, unless you're playing on hard mode or something, and you can shoot your way out of everything fairly easily. And so I completely admit that like it's a cookie cutter game, but I still enjoyed it.
Hello?
Yeah,
Oh, I think it's got quiet.
yeah, that was awkward.
No, my
was-
phone
I
was
mean,
about to die.
I
so-
thought-
I
was
wanted
a
to know
confusing
how
statement,
long
whoever
the
kept them.
awkwardness went. But so yeah, but that was my defense. But Randy's argument does make sense.
Also, to
But,
be fair though, it's like I could kind of nitpick in like bad mechanics in a bunch of other games.
Yeah.
Because with platforming being super linear with Uncharted, I could even say Ghost of Tsushima. Even though the story was really good, the
Cookie
platforming was
cutter.
kind of it was pretty dick.
Yeah.
Because it's like you instantly jump onto something, and it's not like it wasn't like Assassin's Creed 1 where you kind of had to really pinpoint where the fuck you wanted to jump, if anything. Like your diagonal was genuine diagonal, but it's just you hold up and you're like, well, okay, that's it. You hold forward and he does the entire thing himself. The platforming in Tsushima was really disappointing, but everything else was pretty good about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin, so what are your choices?
Oh, obvious, Kevin, is going to be Dragon Ball
Fighters.
No. Shut up. No. Close. Nah, it was actually Dragon Ball Final Bout. That game came out for the PlayStation 1, and that
Yeah.
was by far one of the most difficult fighting games I've ever played in my life.
I thought
Just
you were
for
gonna say GT actually.
no, it was GT.
Oh yeah, Final Bout was GT.
Yeah,
Oh,
GT,
jeez.
yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that game. Excuse my language, but I hate that game so much. It was like yeah.
I love that game.
Oh, you sadist. I can't understand.
I love that game. That was the one where you can do the fucking Kamehameha, the spirit bomb, and all the crazy
Yeah.
shit.
It
I'm
was
playing that
trying
game.
really hard to be 3D.
I like
3D fighter.
I like that. Yes, it was trying to do that. I like that game only because there were so many moves and things that were so fucking hard because, like you said, the game was super broken. That I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna figure out how to do it. I'm gonna figure out how to fucking do a spirit bomb whenever I want. Figure out how to do the clash. Like they had a lot of promise, but you're right, it does belong in that list.
Yeah, it was so it's not that the game was like I enjoy the game now because of like I guess how my taste grew. But
Yeah.
playing the game even when I was younger, I only beat the game like once, and then I was like, I can't do this. Like
did you guys do the hack for to get those characters?
No, I beat the game regular. Like, yeah, it's the first game I ever beat. Like, first fighting game I've ever beat in like the arcade, and the computer was like harder than normal. It was like they were already on 9, and I'm like, I'm learning how to do I'm learning how to do the beams and smack them, and then like they had the rush. I was like, I hate it.
The game had so many different mechanics you can do to like fight and the beams, but it was so hard to actually fucking pull it off. And there was no like actual telling you how to fucking do it. I don't know. They had
the reversal system too.
Yeah,
it had a cool reversal system. I remember that.
What is it? The rush when you get comboed and the computer's just doing the combo and it's just a do, and then they kick. I'm like, no, I don't want this. Stop beating me. So that would be my number 3. Number 2 would be Days Gone. Oh boy, I had a lot of problems with that game.
I never got to play that. Explain.
Basically is I guess they're infected. They're not zombies like per se.
Oh no, I get the premise of it. I don't know how the gameplay was or anything though. Or story
It was
for that matter.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like I didn't like the repeated gas system, and then it's like the specific like stealth. It was like the hiding. It wasn't as bad as Left Alive, but it was like you hide in a bush and then the enemy just doesn't see. They're looking at you, but they don't see you. And it was like I hated that. I hated the zombie system. It was never a fair fight. So if you get into like a horde, which is like a gangbang of zombies, which is like more than you can handle. By the time they hit you, you get stun locked. So you just like one zombie hits you, then it's just you get sandwiched and then they kill you, and you die in like 5 hits. So I didn't enjoy that. Especially they're fast enough to catch you on a motorcycle. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. But I got like halfway through the game and then I was like, I just fucking can't. I can't do this anymore. It's too much. Um,
That was in the news recently where they
People were making a
they
big deal to
pitched a
petition for
sequel.
the sequel. Yeah.
They had pitched a sequel, and Sony or whoever it was denied it and said, "No, we're not going to do it."
Because
yeah.
it didn't make money, and then
No,
the head developer for the first game, he was just like, well, the reason why is because a lot of people didn't buy the game at full price. So if you like a game, you need to buy these things at full price, so that way they're recognized as a legit game to make a sequel for.
no.
Bro, I
Yeah.
bought that at like the most expensive version, and I still didn't like the fucking game. Doesn't matter price. And number one would be a classic. It's everyone knows it. Everybody memed on it. It's been a meme for years. Sonic 06. I played that
Yeah.
game. Beat that game. I didn't understand it.
That was bad.
Yeah.
I love the one beginning stage that it's like the first actual stage that you just like run and then you just stop right there and you can just walk. I was like, I don't
Yeah,
get it,
yeah.
Sonic. Break physics. Everything in that game kills you. Sometimes you die for no reason. I was like, you can't make this up. You can't make this up.
That was
So they-
really bad. I remember that.
Oh man. So look,
All right.
you ever get a
so-
chance, Danny? Play that game if you haven't played it.
No,
You never
play
played
it.
Sonic?
You never
Oh,
played
Sonic?
Sonic 06?
Yeah, I played it.
No, Sonic 06.
Yeah.
You played. Oh, you played it.
I think you're
Oh,
talking about Days Gone.
oh
No,
no,
no, Sonic. Don't play that. But
Yeah.
Sonic
No,
06
but
is funny
I
to
don't
watch.
wanna. I don't want to play Sonic. I don't want to play any Sonic. Period. Actually, honestly.
I love the
Ooh.
first Sonic.
Yeah. I like
Colors
Adventure.
were good,
Yeah.
wasn't
I
it?
got.
Yeah,
Huh?
Colors was good.
Oh, okay.
Colors was good.
Yeah,
Adventure.
I have my Sega Genesis Classic. Like I could always pop in 1, 2, or 3. Those are at least the decent ones to play. Of course.
Those are the ones I like. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Sonic
3.
and Knuckles. Sonic and Knuckles is the best.
Mm.
Oh
Sonic,
yeah.
Sonic and Knuckles, hands down the best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I got my 3. My first one is Kingdom Hearts because Randy.
That's shot.
I'm kidding.
Meet
You know what?
me in a back alley.
Kingdom Hearts, Fighters, and
Kingdom-
Final Fantasy
my
VII.
top
Done.
3 are Kingdom Hearts, Kingdom Hearts 2, and Kingdom Hearts. Which one do you like, Randy? What are your other favorites?
Dream
I
drop
don't like
this.
to do that.
Dream Drop Distance. No. All right, no. Aside from not Kingdom Hearts, it's not on there. So my first one
Destiny
actually.
Oh, you should have been spiteful and picked Destiny. I would
Didn't
have
they make a
said
new Kingdom? Didn't they do a Kingdom Hearts Guitar Hero version? Put that on your list.
Melody.
No,
Oh,
memory.
I mean, I can't say I don't like it if I never played it. So. But my first one is probably one of the biggest. Actually, 2 of them on my list are the biggest hyped games ever in the world. This game has been trying to be made for the longest time, and then it finally comes out, and it's a big flop, and that is Duke Nukem Forever.
ooh.
That makes
So-
any list.
First off,
No,
I saw
come on.
that fucking bombed a mile away. That bombed before the
Yeah.
game came out. I don't know how anybody could be excited about that. game.
I gave it a chance because of the nostalgia, and I was just like, yo, that's the thing too. Like I thought the game. I didn't think the game was gonna be bad per se. Like bad. I thought it was gonna be like super cheesy and corny, but I could still get by, right? But it wasn't just that it was cheesy and like really bad, like 90s jokes, like as Duke Nukem would be, like a fucking rated R Johnny Bravo is pretty much what he is. But
Don't
like the
taint Johnny
gameplay,
Bravo's name.
but the gameplay was really bad too. The story sucked so much, and just like it was just fucking boring. So I couldn't get through it. I bought that game and was pissed that I got like probably what you were saying, Kev. Like I was trying to power through that game and I just couldn't. Like it was just too bad. And it was just
Can't do
one liner after one liner after one liner. It just didn't stop.
Duke.
And then so yeah, that's my first one. And then my second one, that is another severely hyped game, and I'm still bitter to it to this day, and I refuse to support their company regardless of how much they've improved the game, is No Man's Sky. So
Oh yeah, I knew that was gonna be on your list. I knew that was
yeah,
gonna be one of your
no.
games.
So No Man's Sky was so hyped. I don't appreciate how they lied about it and hyped me up, because I thought I really did think this was the end all be all of video games. Like this is gonna be like, yo, you could do anything in this game. you could do everything in this game, whatever you could think of, and you can still play with people on top of that, like multiplayer and just whatever. And then it was just the most generic, boring, repetitive garbage. Like I literally just you land on a planet, you break stuff down into materials, you refuel your ship, and then you go on to the next planet. And it was barely like any life. There's barely much to explore. The monsters look stupid as hell. And actually, even though they claimed that it was like computer generated, like randomly generated creatures, a lot of them looked so much alike that it was just still boring. Kevin, you were gonna say something?
No, I was gonna say that the only thing I can remember from No Man's Sky is when the monsters are like walking like vertical, so they're just like this, but walking forward. I was like, they why
Yeah, their
why?
animations were bad. Yeah, a lot of it's
I
just
would I would be curious to see somebody like a Twitch stream maybe or something like that. 'Cause that's what it's known for.
mhm,
Of No Man's Sky now and
now.
today because it has a huge following,
Hmm.
and
Well,
people love the game now.
stay tuned this week for Danny's stream of No
No,
Man's Sky.
no, because that would involve me giving them money by buying the game again, and I refuse to do it
Well,
because of how they
what if
lied.
I bought it for you?
No, I still wouldn't because
You wouldn't
then
even play with me off stream?
you'd be wasting your money. You could play it. I'll be fine with it because that's your money. I'm not using my
You want to
money.
watch me play?
I'll watch you play. I'll see how it is.
Hey.
Oh, all right.
Because I mean,
I was
I've seen footage of like the DLCs and the patches they released and stuff like that, and it looks like a good game. It looks like it's changed a lot, and there's a lot more you can finally do to kind of keep the replay value, high. But I'm just bitter about the way they dealt with everything in the beginning, so I refuse to give them money.
Danny. I just sent you something of how I feel about No Man's Sky.
By the way, there was plenty of life in the planets. What do you mean?
No, there really wasn't. I
No,
tried.
dude,
I
it was
got to
full
the
of bugs.
center of the
Come
fucking
on.
thing. Like I eventually got to the center, and you know what happens when you get to the center? They fucking send you to the beginning.
So also, by the way, that thing of the joke flying over Christopher Reeve's head,
Mm-hmm.
I said it was full of bugs.
Oh, ha 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 ha
Yeah,
ha.
there you go.
So, all right, my last one. Danny knows this one too because he's seen me play that shit, and we were disappointed on it. The Alone in the Dark remake for the 2008 game for PS1 because they did another remaster, quote unquote, which was just as bad. But what sticks out in my mind was the original Alone in the Dark remake, which they tried to do like a dark horror gritty version of like
Hmm.
this old like it looked like a DOS game pretty much, but it it the setting was great, the graphics were somewhat okay, but it was
Real
probably
good.
one of the glitchiest games ever. Like
Hmm.
I'm talking like game breaking bugs that they never fixed because back then there was rarely any type of way to patch anything either. Unless they did. I know they did a recall. I'm pretty sure they did a recall and you could get a replacement, but I didn't even bother. But like for example, you still go through walls. You're clipping through walls. Some puzzles didn't want to work, and then on top of that, it had an episodic type of style. So like even though it was one game, each level was like an episode, and it just didn't work because it was just a fucking game. Like you just played level by level. A chapter was, or sorry, an episode was just a level. That's all it was. So it's just I don't know. It just the episodic thing didn't work out. The characters I can give two shits about. The voice acting was really bad. The only
I
thing that
remember
it
the
had,
voice acting being
yeah,
really bad,
the only thing it had
like
going for it
Resident
was the
Evil level.
graphics. Like the lighting effects were really good. It was actually like that was their biggest selling point at the time was like the lighting effects with the fire, because fire was a
Hmm.
big thing for the game that you had to find ways to put it out and stuff.
No.
It was just yeah, it was unplayable, and it got to a certain point where I got to a game breaking bug, and I stopped playing the game, and I didn't even want to replace it anymore. I just ended up trading it in. So yeah, I did have an honorable mention though, which was Aliens colonial
Yeah.
marines. That was
It's
pretty
so bad you
bad.
can't even say the name.
Yeah, right.
Wait, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I felt like I heard that game before.
Oh,
Colonial Marine?
you
Like
know my
shiny ass
honorable mention.
aliens?
I forgot about that.
What?
It was gonna be Batman and Robin.
The
Remember how
PlayStation, we rented that game twice because we got stuck on this one part.
I think we rented it more than twice
Yeah.
because we kept getting stuck in the same fucking part and determined that we were gonna beat this fucking game.
Yeah.
It was bad because it
Yeah.
was just like it was so glitchy and fucking. It wasn't worse than the fucking Dark Tomorrow, but
Yeah.
I remember like having good premise because it was like interesting puzzles and stuff that you had to solve. And I think one of it was like a Joker, a
I don't
Riddler
remember.
question that was really hard in a bank that we couldn't figure out.
Uh,
But I remember playing, but that one was one of those games that's like, why they make this another fucking video game movie?
yeah. Yeah. All right. All right, guys. So we're gonna move on to the final stuff, which is guess the game. Oh, actually, sorry. Fucking me as a bad fucking host. I forgot. So sadly, I didn't have much time to post the community question for the actual community.
We'll go to the bathroom. I'll be back.
Okay. So I didn't post it up. I posted it up late for the actual community for them to respond to it. So we didn't get a lot of responses. We just got one right here from Instagram, which was HR Birdo 13, which he said one of the games that he was disappointed about was Lair. And we talked about that last episode too,
Oh yeah,
which was it was fuck. I lost
the
the
weird
comment now.
dragon fucking.
Yeah, he said it was like super clunky. If I can find it.
Game
Disappointed. I
control
was
shit.
looking forward to it. That's the only game that comes to mind. The controls were so clunky. That's all he said. So I was like, yeah, because they try to force those bad 6-axis controller stuff into it, and they
That was
eventually,
early PS3, no?
yes, yeah, because they were trying to really market that 6-axis controller stuff, and then like years later, they eventually put, maybe not years, but they eventually put a patch for the game so that way you could just use the joysticks, and it was like too little, too late. Like the game was already bad, so nobody bothered with it. So yeah, that was the community answer. That's pretty much it. That was my fault for leaving it late because I got finals. I was fucking swamped, man. But yeah, I think I'll wait for Kevin so he can start doing the game, the guess the game stuff. So if you guys gonna watch the Twitch stream, so you guys can see the images, we'll start doing that eventually. Does anybody want to think of what the next week's community question is, or should I go on to think of it?
I got you.
What is it?
In light of all these remakes and remakes and remasters, I guess, what game would you like to have remade or remastered?
Oh, that's easy. I
Like
know that.
either broken down and built from the ground up, or just something just prettier.
Mm-mm.
What game would you like to be remade / remastered? Okay, cool.
Like Resident Evil 4, but
Oh,
as an
God.
example.
Yeah,
Can we
yeah,
can we get that RE4 remix, please?
yeah.
I don't think they've done. I don't think they've done that yet, right?
You're gonna
Yeah,
get an
I don't know.
HDD remaster.
I've been itching.
Right?
I've been itching for a remaster or a remake. Yeah. All right, Kevin's back. And so we got the
What's
community
up?
question. That's for next week then. So what game would you like remade or remastered? Anything at all? We're gonna move on to the first image here. We're playing Guess the Game, and you guys can this image. You better get these games.
I ain't getting it. Now that you mentioned that, I'm gonna name every game wrong.
Chrono Trigger.
It's Chrono Trigger.
It's not Final Fantasy 12.
Kevin, go home.
For the DS maybe.
Mm.
Here's the second
They actually
one.
did have a DS thing for 12 though.
Did they really? Oh, right.
Yeah, they did.
What do you guys think about this one?
He needs some moisturizer.
He needs some milk.
He needs some skin.
Not Eternal Darkness.
It is Eternal Darkness.
There we go.
Come on,
I like how you
baby.
said that so casually.
Isn't he on the cover of the fucking game?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I've
context
seen this,
about
but what the fuck is on it?
it's-
Come on, Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain. That is the Origami Killer's calling card.
Oh, talk about Heavy Rain. Have you guys seen the Sean glitch?
The what?
The Sean glitch?
Oh, when he's yelling his name
Hey,
over and
sir.
over again.
Yeah. Oh God, that brought me so much joy for so many years.
All right, we got this one here.
That was the same one.
Oh, that was
Heavy
the
Rain.
same.
Yeah.
comic. Oh man,
Go ahead, Danny. You got this one.
I
Come on, you
forgot
can
the
do it.
name of
Come on,
this.
fuck, go on.
Comixology. I forgot that. What the fuck was this game?
Mixology, that's the website.
What was the name of that game? You guys know what it is.
It was
No,
for
we
the
don't.
Sega Genesis.
You don't know it? Oh,
That's why I said, Danny, you got this one.
oh fuck. It's comic something.
Oh, you could do it.
You got this. We believe in you.
Comic Zone.
There you go.
Comic
Zone.
Zone.
Did you look that up? I think you looked that up.
No,
Okay.
it's just it was
I
trying
don't
to
know.
come
I
to
just
my
had
head.
that. I just had that feeling.
I love Comic Zone.
Yeah.
Comic Zone.
Love it so much you forgot the
first
name.
off. Oh man, I used to play that all the time. I can never beat that fucking game. It was so hard, but it was so fun. That was like that was a good game.
Yeah. All right, this is the final one.
Oh, Geometry Wars, no?
Geometry was it?
Yeah, Geometry Wars. You guys played that?
Adam used to play this shit. Oh my god, Adam, my cousin's
Always.
colorblind. Right? He's I don't know, but he loved playing this game. But he's colorblind, so I never understood how the fuck he played this game at all. And he would play for hours, and he would just put on his music because he liked to do the Xbox and the music, and he would play that fucking game all day.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that game made me kind of dizzy after a while. But I liked
Well,
it.
if you don't
It
see
was
colors,
awesome.
it's probably easier.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I
That
like
shit was addicting as all hell.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. They should
It
bring that back,
was, yeah.
or maybe they already did. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I
You
should
should
look
make
it
that
up.
into a screensaver.
Hey, Danny, you know what you should do? Sober Danny.
Yeah.
You said your cousin's colorblind, right?
Mhm.
So you know those like what is it? Those little kind of old flash games where you would like have to match the cut like the bubbles.
Oh, you demon.
Make him play one of those.
You demon.
the hard certain games he plays where he can't. He has to actually turn the game onto colorblind mode because otherwise he can't continue. Because you know, like you have to do
that's
the
the-
red
that's
one
the
versus
trick.
the blue one type of thing.
Just make it a
Yeah.
challenge for him. If he wins, just there should be an incentive for it.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that is it for this episode. Just keep in mind. Oh, actually, so that is it for this episode. I have to make the announcement because we're going to make the announcement for the next 2 weeks that we are moving the episode or the weekly podcast to Thursdays. So in 2 weeks, it pretty much was the first or second week of May. We're gonna be moving to Thursday nights, still 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Hi, sober guardian. We're gonna be moving to 10:30 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays instead to accommodate for everybody's schedule, especially mine because of the job that I have and everything. So I'm trying to accommodate for them as well, and possibly even move again at some point in the fall, like up in September. But that's another conversation. But we'll see about that. We'll work that out. So yeah. So but for now, for next week, it'll be Monday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys want to check it out, and you guys are stupid. So check it out and check out the You can check it out on Twitch, Facebook. Now y'all throwing me all off. Check it out on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and we also have a TikTok channel as well as Instagram and Twitter as well. I'm actually a little bit more active on Twitter nowadays. So if you guys want to check that one out. If you have any questions or you want to play any games, you could think of any games, send it through emails or message us. The email is thedrunkenguardian@gmail.com. And not Randy, Kevin, you got your Twitch channel.
Hi, I'm Kevin, also known as Boneless Bones. You can follow me on Boneless Bones _TV on Twitch, and I have a YouTube under the same name. No underscore, no TV, just Boneless Bones.
You do
Let's
have
see
a
you guys
TikTok
on there.
now.
Oh, I have a TikTok as well, but I think it's Dude Man Bro or Boneless Bones. I'll come back to you guys with that information
I
next
think it's
stream.
boneless pizza.
Boneless pizza. That seems like it. Hold on. I don't even understand this. Like, I just made my first TikTok, and I was like,
Yes,
at a
it is.
loss. I was at a loss.
I'll tell it to you right
Boneless
now because
pizza?
I'm following you. Yes, boneless pizza 1204
04.
1204. Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, he's got all the fighting game knowledge. So it's kind of cool to watch his content and kind of pick up on that stuff if that's what you're into. So check it out.
Mhm.
And Randy, as always, it's a pleasure.
Yes.
Very,
Sorry,
very.
I was really entranced by Kevin's like PSA intro that he had. Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm here to talk to you today about a 2H.
What is a
Now-
2H? What is a punish?
Tell us what's a punish.
What's a punish? Oh, so when the opponent throws a button out, and then you counter that button with a button that hits them, punishing them on their width.
Sir,
That's-
if you didn't have your fucking first vaccine shot today, I would have made you chug an entire fucking bottle at this moment.
Oh man, yeah, I know. I'm saving like what? I'm at like 8, right? I'm like 8
Well,
right now.
they do say that fluids is supposed to be best for the vaccine shot to make sure you don't get sick.
Yes,
So.
waters.
Best. You know what's
H2O.
funny? If it wasn't for Randy, Randy was like, "You're not supposed to drink with the shot." I was like, "You're not." I was about to.
I was like, you can't drink today, and he's like, what? I was like, yeah,
Oh, shit.
He's like, I was like, "Oh, it makes sense. It makes sense.
you,
That's
you
good."
can't drink for like a few days.
Yeah,
I got
that's-
mine last week actually.
Mm.
Oh,
I got my second shot last week.
I got
Damn.
nothing because I'm not a sheep.
all right. You're gonna
No,
be. You're gonna be.
I honestly didn't get it because I just still wasn't sure which vaccine to get because there's all these different brands and stuff, and then I was hearing about Johnson and Johnson getting all this fucking
Don't get
recalls.
Johnson.
Yo, get
Yeah,
the
okay,
fucking,
Johnson, Johnson.
So I'm just like, I'm not trying
They're
to start
having
the zombie
more- they're having a
apocalypse.
lot of
I'm not trying to
problems.
be patient zero for the zombie apocalypse. So I'll wait
They're-
until I'm
they're-
hearing some good things about the vaccine.
Dan, you're gonna be the one to get the cable virus. That cable
I did
arm.
it-
That's gonna be
I-
you.
I did get sick for like 5 hours. I had a 100-degree fever.
It's
the
expected.
second shot.
They're putting the virus in you,
But it
like,
was
in
a
an
weird
active version.
literally 5 hours. Like
Yep.
I was done at like 2 o'clock.
so
I'm like,
5
fuck, I'm
hour
thinking I'm
no
getting
energy?
sick. Yeah, it really was weird. And then I went home at like 4 or 5 o'clock. Went into bed. I took my temperature. It was 100 degrees. I'm like, fuck. Took a nap. I woke up and I started to feel better. I'm like, this is
Mhm.
the weirdest sensation ever.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm
Well,
fucking
good for you guys,
Gatorade.
though.
have Gatorade handy for the second shot. That's all I can recommend.
I will get it
Electrolyte.
eventually. I'm not like one of those. I'm not an anti-vax or anything like that. I'm just being cautious about which one I
He's
should
not
take
a-
and when.
He's not a sheep. Get him. Get him. He's not.
Half my job is like anti-vaxxers.
Oh, really?
And one of them just got sick. Like, yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
God.
Ironic.
Yeah. All right, guys.
So-
I'm gonna leave it at this, so we
You
so
said
we can
what
leave
now?
the vaccine talk to the side. So I'm gonna let you guys go on the stream here. I will
Video
see you
games.
guys next week. Yeah.
Resident
Good.
Evil vaccine.
Good.
Limbo
Bye.
Hold on,
Day. Bye.
before we leave, I just want to point out the fact that Sober Guardian basically quoted Foreigner, right?
Huh?
Because he said
What?
that he had a fever of 100 degrees. So he was hot blooded. Check it and see. He had a fever of 100 degrees.
Get hype for
Oh
those
my
lines, guys. I do it in the chat. Get hype. Make some noise.